welcome to the show on a very special Friday. We're not usually here Friday, but we've got a couple guests in studio, which makes this a fun day and a perfect day for it, too. There's so much going on with the draft in town, and we've got a couple of legends here, in my opinion. Greg Henson, one legend, and Mr. Drew Lane.
No, he's the legend.
He's the legend. What's up, Drew?
Kidding me?
Hey, fellas.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
Thanks you guys for coming by.
You know that just means you're old, right? When you're a legend?
Whatever. I'll take it. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm still alive. I've
said it to Drew before, but I think that Drew and Mike show is a first ballot Hall of Fame show.
It is.
I don't know if that ever gets in, and I know Drew will never say it on the air, so I say it every chance I get.
I don't think it'll get in because you
should.
have to have people in the business hawking you.
Yeah.
So I see, Mojo was nominated this year.
Really?
Mojo was nominated. There's a show in Atlanta that I just can't stand.
Which one is that?
The Burt show with an
please.
exclamation point.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know that show.
But it is good to see. The last time I think we talked was at a Red Wing playoff game over a garbage can drinking a beer.
I was with
That
Drew.
was probably a while ago.
I was with
Yeah.
Drew, and you
ago.
ghosted me. You didn't give a shit that I was there.
I
think
thought
that's
it
what
was just him
remember.
and Mike. Was it me and my wife?
No, Drew and I ran into you in the parking lot at either a Pistons game or a Wings game.
Okay.
And I'm just busting your balls. You were fine.
I was going to say.
But yeah, we did. I don't know if that's the time you're talking about.
Huh. I was
don't
at
know.
the Joe, and you and Mike were leaning over a garbage can having a beer, so we joined you.
Wow, that had to be a long time ago. I can't believe I haven't seen you that long.
98,
No,
99.
Drew, do
That's
you remember
crazy.
when we ran into him in the parking lot in
Yeah.
the 2000s?
Really? I think so.
I can't
100%.
remember yesterday.
I think
You were
Greg's
walking
memory's
in, we were
slipping.
walking out. Yeah,
Yeah,
could be.
I was hammered probably. But, I'll tell you, though, my memory is shot. I can remember everything about sports, but nothing about anything else.
Okay, let me ask you about the draft, because I can't. It's driving me crazy that the draft has become a 2-month pregame show on 97.1
Yep.
and on all these. It's like 2 months to discuss. Like they picked the one guy you've been talking about the most. 2 months to talk about one fucking guy.
Yeah.
Or
Who
two
has a
guys. That's
50-50
crazy.
chance of even being a legit player in the league anyways.
Here's the best part. I took my kid's 20, and then I got an 18-year-old. So we went down last night. I was disappointed we couldn't get in. They shut it down. You couldn't get in
Season
after
ticket holders weren't getting in.
6:30.
Really?
I was pissed. So anyway, we went to, but they had TV set up in all the parks, like Capitol Park and the one outside of Comerica Park. So we watched there, and we were watching, and I looked at my kid and I said, this whole fucking draft's going to go right according to script. You watch. And sure enough, Caleb Williams,
Drake May.
Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm like, this is stupid. 2
Joe
months.
Alt.
2 months.
Yeah.
And it came right back to the very first fucking mock draft that you
do
heard.
I don't know. How can you do a show talking about this for 2 months? I'd lose my mind.
That's why I got out of sports radio. I couldn't do it.
What was it
I
like?
could
when,
not do it.
when you were in sport, because you were programmer for years at the Fan
Yep.
and other places. Would you guys? I don't remember you guys covering this for 2 straight months.
Not for 2
It
months.
almost reminds me of Christmas music coming out in October.
Okay, but you know
Yeah.
what it is.
Malls and stuff.
You know what it is, though, right?
Ratings.
And lazy. It's easy to
Yeah.
sit there and do mock drafts. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do is to just regurgitate every day.
Just being bored would make me want to find other content that's fascinating.
We were talking about it the other night when we were going on our way to Caliendo, and it was like I compared it to like trying to guess lotto numbers.
Yeah, it's
like
stupid.
who gives a shit?
It's
Like,
so
You
stupid.
couldn't
Let's
talk.
sit
Could you
around
talk
and-
about the Super Bowl for 2 months? After 2 weeks, people are tired of it. That's
Yeah.
a game.
But these
Yeah.
are the same people who go to the Super Bowl and do their shows when nobody gives a shit. Like every year we'd get a call going, do you guys want to bring your shows to the Super Bowl? I'm like, are the Lions in it? And they'd say no. And I'd say, then no. Why would we want to be on
Well,
Radio Row?
Yeah.
The only reason is you do get a lot of cool guests coming by, but I don't even hear the good guests on the radio. I've been listening, not nonstop, but I haven't heard
It used
any.
to be better. Now it's all players. And how many players can you interview?
True.
I mean, when I was there, Blake Lively came and sat down. She was great. I was in Dallas for a Super Bowl, so we had to do our shows there. And she came by and was great. And we would get cool people to come down. Now it's just players hawking stuff.
We had
Exactly.
We did it, Drew. We
Yeah.
had Woody, who was the guy from ESPN. He was on Around the Horn.
Oh.
Boston
Oh,
guy.
Woody. No, he's from Denver.
Woody Page.
Denver. Woody
Yeah.
Page.
Yeah.
Remember we had Woody Page.
He's funny.
We had Joe Montana.
Yep.
What's his name? Moore came by. Jay Moore?
Oh, Jay Moore was
yeah.
great
And
at
Jay
ours.
Moore farted in the microphone.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah, that's
Did
right.
he fart butt mic?
Sort of. We were all
much.
laughing about it. Yeah.
We had some
but they were
guests.
all hawking stuff. They were all like for
Yeah.
chick razors.
Right,
and,
right.
like, giving,
It's like, shave your balls. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it being that bad, actually. I
No,
thought
it was
we had
fun,
There
but
was good people watching, too. There was a lot going on in front of us to talk about.
Are you
Yeah.
talking the Super Bowl in
Here.
Detroit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Detroit.
Michelle was there, and she told me there were a lot of cool people that came by that year. I was in Dallas. I did it in 2010 when I was down there, and it was cool. But then now it's like I listen to it, I'm like, this is the most boring crap ever. I like sports radio in a completely different way than they're doing it now. You know, I like it to be. It's not man radio anymore. They've made it for women too. No offense, you can listen, but you know, back in the day,
What does that mean exactly?
Well, now you can't be a misogynist on the radio.
Yeah.
even
No,
if it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, you
And
can't.
it's fun.
It is
I gotta be
fun.
honest. It's fun as shit when guys get in a room and talk
Yes.
talk trash to each other
about women and about just like
the
they
idea,
do to us.
You see it now where it's like, this guy he had a top 10 hottest chicks list, and they're all pearl clutching, and you're like,
Right.
oh my God, what guy didn't
well,
do that?
we had Tina the Ticket Tramp on the air. You know, where she would come on and basically say she blew guys for tickets. She was our marketing director, and now she's giving them away to you. She's like, I got these tickets in a weekend in Miami with some really old guy.
Well, that's what's happened to radio. The radio's a bore,
It
and
is.
and people figured it out. They're listening to the same 300 songs
Yep.
over and over.
Yeah.
You know, classic rock. I can't believe they're still playing the same songs. Oh my
know.
God, how can they not?
But you
die?
know as well as anyone, Drew. Every time they do the list and see what listeners want, they all pick the same goddamn Ozzy song and
Because
the same
it's
Led
familiar.
Zeppelin song. It's
Yeah,
like,
but if you ask
who
them-
wants to hear Crazy Train, who's that guy?
If you unsolicited, they talk to you about radio or about music radio, so many people will say, why do you play the same two cuts from this
Yeah.
band? I mean, they'll say it over and over, and you're supposed to listen to people when they tell you something
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Yep.
But people have
nobody has any
tried
balls.
it. People have tried to do something else. Wasn't that the point of the Bear?
Yeah,
with Nugent,
classic rock that really rocks.
Well,
Was that-
XRT in Chicago plays pretty unique music. And
like deeper cuts.
yeah, oh yeah. And
Okay.
when somebody Iggy Pop's in town, they'll play 5 or 6 Iggy Pop songs in a row.
Yeah.
do you know I'm a PD of a classic rock station right now?
What? And you probably play. What's your song list? 300.
Well, probably a little more. I have LAV in Grand Rapids, which is a pretty heritage. It's still got the riff, you know,
Oval.
logo,
Yeah.
oval.
You compete with Free Beer and Hot
Yep,
Wings?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
There's no competition right now. We're only a year in. We went from 17th to 5th. You know, in a
you're
year.
doing mornings, too.
It's doing fine. I'm with Michelle again, so
Are they impenetrable?
they're really good, I guess. It's like same thing with you. I got jobbed. I could never listen to you because that when I was in Detroit, I was doing mornings across from you, so I never got to hear a ton of the show.
Well, I
except
gotta
when you
tell
would call donut shops and make me laugh.
I think they're pretty safe. I mean, I think they're a lot what you're describing because
Yeah,
I don't know how anyone stands Scorch. That
Oh,
guy and his
Scorch?
voice, yeah, Free Beer and Hot Wings.
I
Just,
I don't know who that is because I don't
Wait,
listen.
Scorch isn't he on Wisconsin or somewhere?
Is he?
Scorch?
Scorch.
Well, are they syndicated?
yeah,
Free
yeah.
Beer and Hot Wings?
Yeah, they're in I think about 30 markets, but they've never been in a large
No.
market.
Yeah.
I
they're
think
all
GR
mid-markets.
might be the biggest one.
Yeah, it might be, but they've got a good thing going. I mean, it works for them, and my nephew worked there for a while.
Does
That's
he?
why.
Yeah.
I'm really familiar with them, and they do fine. But
Wasn't Zane was there for a long
Oh,
time?
yeah,
Zane
too.
was there for a long time.
I meet Zane at the dog park once a week.
Really?
He's got 3.
He's a good
He's
dude.
got 5 rescues, and he'll just text me and say, "Going to the park." He lives 3 miles from me now.
Oh wow!
You know the story, right? I hired him before he went to Riff
Oh, you hired him in Saginaw?
at DFN.
Oh,
He was doing a weekend show at DFN. Then he calls me one day and says, "I'm quitting." I'm like, "What the fuck? I just hired you." And he goes, "I'm going to go work at Riff." I'm like, "Oh fuck." Yeah.
How do you
Okay, he was
compete with
working.
that?
He was working part time there.
Yeah.
Has Zane hipped you to the Dabbleverse? The
No.
whole Stuttering John
Oh, boy.
universe.
No.
Oh, you'd love it. Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
all in.
he would love it.
What is it?
Yeah. Garrett
Well,
loves it.
I'm all in.
He's
Yeah.
all in on that.
There's a show, Who Are These Podcasts, that critiques podcasts and really shits on them and does a great job. In fact, we have him on every other week. Carl Hamburger, and Carl's great. And
He's really good. I'm surprised he doesn't have a more traditional radio background.
No, he
'Cause he's
doesn't.
like he's a strong host.
He is.
He's a powerful voice for real.
well, he listened to Stern and O&A for 20 years, 25 years, and then started a podcast in 2016. And he's built it organically, and it's actually doing pretty fucking well. He's got like
Really?
2,500 Patreons.
I got to check that out.
So he started he finally, the way he broke was he critiqued the Opie podcast and trashed it. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, Opie's terrible.
Opie Aloni?
Opie without
is
Anthony.
Okay.
awful.
His
Yeah.
podcast. And Anthony heard about it.
Oh, boy.
Came on, and all of a sudden, boom, 15,000 downloads or something. And then eventually he got around to Stuttering John. Trash Stuttering John. Well, Stuttering John clapped back.
Oh.
And it became a regular routine where he was ripping John's podcast for about 20 minutes of the show, every show, for the next, this is going on like 6 years now.
Right.
And now Stuttering John does nothing but fight back against him.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a whole universe of shows, and all they do is trash each other, generally. It's really fucking
Have they
funny.
listened to your show yet?
Yeah, they have, because Carl's on our show every couple
Okay.
weeks.
Does he rip your ass just for fun?
No, but he's ripped. Actually, he's called us out for a couple things, but he did Free Beer and Hot Wings.
Okay.
And, he did Dave and Chuck.
It's kind of. Do you remember O&A when they would do the Jocktober?
Yeah, it's based on Jocktober.
It's based on that, and Jocktober is honestly one of the funniest fucking bits I've ever heard.
Is it?
Yeah.
They would just pick a random shitty morning show.
Oh, Jesus.
Around the country, and it's usually, no offense to you and Michelle, but a guy and a girl, and they would call her the Hole. And they would just
The Hole.
the Hole, like, oh, shut up, Hole. Every
But
time
be careful,
she would
Michelle's
talk.
a fanboy.
Yeah, that's
This one
cool.
over
Of
here.
Drew, yeah. But
Hey, I had nothing to do with it.
Michelle's more like Michelle strikes me as more like Trudy.
She's a
She can
dude.
roll with
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
and play along.
Nothing can offend her, which makes her. I was in Virginia before I came back. Nothing offends her, and I was like, I will go back to work with you in the cold, but I ain't leaving Virginia for just any show.
Yeah.
Because I really dig. I was in Richmond. I loved it. So,
Yeah, Richmond's a cool place to live.
Oh, Richmond.
Yeah.
Where was I saying he was? I was saying Roanoke.
Roanoke.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Richmond.
Roanoke.
I had Roanoke
like
on the brain.
8 people.
It's still the same state.
I
Close
worked in
enough.
Roanoke, so you
Did you?
probably just had it mixed up.
yeah,
yeah.
but that's on the way up. Roanoke's like 14 people, right? Down
No,
by
it's more than 14.
Is it?
I moved up from Blacksburg to Roanoke.
Okay.
That was the big move up from there, and then went to Charlotte.
And
which
Columbus.
Wait,
was-
Roanoke's Vatek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's,
I mean,
it's
no,
nearby.
Blacksburg.
Blacksburg's Vatek, and then Roanoke's the big city.
That's where they go.
okay.
That's where people from Blacksburg go.
I loved
The
it
party.
out there. I thought when
great
me
state.
and Drew and Tess and Fellhauer went to Vatek for it was a Duke.
Yeah, it was a Duke
Vatek
game in 2013. When they were
fucking-
good.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. That town was so cool. The
Yeah, it's really-
architecture, the stone everywhere.
Virginia
I thought it
is-
was very cool.
Are you from Virginia?
No, I'm from Chicago, but,
Okay.
but I lived there for quite a while.
Such a great state. I enjoy. It was off my radar till I got that job. I didn't even consider Virginia as something.
How did that come about?
They reached out to me. I got downsized at iHeart in Pittsburgh, and so I went to Lincoln, Nebraska to help a buddy flip a music AM to talk. And I was like, well, maybe
Music AM.
it was playing
Who
music.
the hell's doing music? What?
This was only 7 years ago.
What?
And so it was beautiful music. And then I got there and we flipped it to talk, and all the employees were still bitching a year later. We got to go back to music. We just got to go back to. I'm
What
like,
kind of
"Oh."
ratings were they doing with music?
On an AM
It had a
band.
12 share.
With
It had
beautiful music?
Old people. We flipped it. And I went out there and I was like, God, I can't stay here, man. My wife's like, well, it's not so bad. I'm like, this is fucking bad. Nothing wrong with Lincoln, but there's nothing to do. So that's when the guy in Richmond reached out, and I said, get me the fuck out of here. And he did. And then we went to Richmond.
How long were you in Richmond?
5 years.
Oh, okay.
I liked Richmond. I would have stayed in Richmond, but the chance to come back, all my family's here.
Yeah.
And to work with Michelle. So I did that, and I like Grand Rapids a lot. Like I was telling you on the way over here, I got into traffic at 3:00.
Yeah.
I don't deal with that out in Allendale.
Yeah, Richmond and D.C. are close enough together that there's
Yeah.
probably some spillover.
And we'd always go up there, like to go D.C. because
Oh,
my
yeah.
kid was playing hockey. That's why we're here this
Did you
weekend.
go there just for the morning show, or were you planning to be PD there?
I was just going for the morning show.
That's what I thought,
4
yeah.
months later, they fired the PD, and they gave me 2 stations, 3 stations, a sports station and a country and a classic rock. So,
Yeah.
But I just went there to work with Michelle.
So they talk Redskins there and
In Richmond?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brutal.
UVA and
UVA.
Vatek.
We had Virginia. We had Vatek on our, because I had 2 stations. And so, they had the Squirrels there, which is San Francisco's AA ball. But it was pretty much DC stuff, yeah.
The
and
Squirrels
some
were a
Carolina.
draw?
The squirrels were a great time until it was July and it was 100 degrees at 10 o'clock at night. But the squirrels,
Those are fun, man. The lug nuts were fun.
and they're
Go
cheap.
watch.
You can get a cheap beer and hang out. You know, it's and there's nothing else going on. I mean, Richmond has a good party scene and brew pubs and stuff. But yeah, what did you think? Did you realize who the Lions drafted last night? Back to the draft. They took.
Yeah, I was aware of who he was. I mean, I've been hearing his name for 2 months.
But you know what his claim to fame is at Bama, right? He started Lank. You know what Lank is?
No.
I'm not saying it.
Let an N-word know.
Yeah. He started this thing called he's got merch, L-A-N-K, Let an N-word know. And last year, Reese Davis.
Well, what does he want to know?
I don't know.
Whatever it is.
Emphasize it's nigga.
So last year, Reese Davis on game day said, and so is the originator of Let a Naysayer Know. And all the black dudes on the set burst out laughing and go, that's not what it means.
He was wearing, the guys were all wearing their jackets.
Yeah.
And they're like, I got my
the
family.
linings?
Yeah, the linings.
Yeah.
He had L-A-N-K
Oh, my God.
on the inside of his lining.
Hilarious.
And when you were talking about it, I was like, oh, yeah, I totally
That's
I
him.
remember the Reese Davis thing.
Oh, it was so funny.
Can you
Reese-
find that? Maybe Reese Davis,
Went-
R-E-C-E?
The lining was a big thing because Malik Neighbors had it.
Oh,
and,
my God, that
they
was
asked about it and he said, yeah, these are all the people that made Malik Neighbors who Malik Neighbors is or who Malik is.
Did he go third person?
Yep.
Yeah, twice.
He said that.
Christ.
These are all the people that made Malik who Malik is. I was just like, I knew you were watching that.
Malik, who is you?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That's so brutal. I love that, though. The best part is all these guys walking out there with their hot white girlfriends.
Oh, I know.
No, blonde and white seems to be having a good year with NFL draft picks.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you noticed the couch too in the all brother household, and then there's just some sort of fat ass hot blonde chick sitting next to it. It's like, I wonder what she's doing there
every year.
Every year.
I saw there's one draft pick, I think the Jets picked him, where the big black mother
Yes.
seems to be fighting with the blonde girlfriend for his attention, and he's paying no attention. He's trying to pay no attention to the blonde girlfriend, and she's really getting it. Looks like the mama is blocking her.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
pretty
saw
weird.
that. It was pretty
Those
funny.
moms have to hate that. And it's like, my boy's about to make it to the bigs, and of course, he trades up for.
He's earned the blonde hot white chick with the 1 million followers on Instagram.
But the best part is some of the black women on Twitter who get pissed about it.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
oh, yeah.
what in the hell? Every African American man is up there with a white girl. What's wrong with black women? I'm like, I'm not getting involved in that shit.
I'm staying out of that conversation too. But
I know it's. Why is it amusing to me when other people are being racist, even if they're not even called out for it? It's like, well, it's kind of refreshing to see black women be sort of racist about this.
Who took a load?
It's a change of pace.
Was it LeBron's kid, Bronny? When he took that smoking hot blonde to like prom or whatever.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. People killed him for it.
RG3, too.
Did
Remember,
RG3 do
that's
it?
what Rob Parker called him, a cornball brother.
Oh, that's right.
Because he had a white wife.
Really?
That was the underlying there.
How do you rag on those guys? They all do, though.
Isn't that like diversity, equity, and inclusion
Yes.
to have a white wife if you're a black
DEI.
guy? What's wrong with that? I thought we liked that.
I have no problem with DEI, man. It makes perfect sense. But yeah, that's that was kind of how that started.
We just notice it. Yeah. It's on your TV, and it's like, oh, okay.
And I don't
Seen
care.
this before.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams came walking out, and there's this beautiful blonde on his
Oh,
arm.
yeah. She is
Hello.
really, she's an influencer.
Yeah.
She is.
Is she?
She's his high school girlfriend,
Really?
supposedly. Which is
Really?
like, really? He's not branched out to some other blondes?
Is he from that area? He's not, is he? 'Cause he
No.
went to Oklahoma.
He went to Oklahoma, then transferred when Lincoln Riley went. To
Is there
USC.
anyone drafted who did not transfer?
No. I
It's
found that out last
incredible.
night.
It's
No one.
ridiculous. Here's the thing. So Michigan had their spring game last week. One kid had a nice game. His name's DJ Waller. He's now in the portal because he wants to get paid. So if you have a good spring game, you can now get paid.
Why can't he get paid at Michigan?
Well, he could, but
Apparently he's not.
But everyone's in the portal because it's free agency. You can go back to your school, but the minute your season's over, you go in the portal to see what people are going to pay you.
This
And
is this is for a 4-year career.
Yep.
I mean, it's such a short time. I don't know how anybody can stay that loyal to a team that never has the same players for more than a couple years.
It's going to be over soon. I think college sports is heading that way.
It's kind of a joke.
People are losing interest. It's just but here's
I
the
mean,
deal.
what happens to all these like historic universities, the U of M's of the world?
They'll be fine.
Oh, they'll never quit.
You think
They'll
so?
That cult will never die.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have any loyalty when these guys are there for a season? Oh, I'm not starting. I'm out. Like these guys that can't grow with a program, that don't know the Michigan way, or
Yeah, I don't know that it matters anymore. I really don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Michigan won the last real amateur national title.
Yeah.
Because it's free agency. The teams won't look the same year to year. It's going to be weird. What they need to do is just get rid of the portal. You know, if you're going, you got to stay. You can transfer, but you got to sit out a year. Like
Well,
they
you gotta
used
sign-
to.
never
how
go
about,
back
how
to
about
that.
signing
They'll
a
never do
contract to stay there for 4 years and you're paid a certain amount each year?
Yep.
I mean, why can't they do that? And then you can't leave if you sign the contract.
Right, unless they let you out. And if they don't,
Yeah.
if you're a real cancer,
but
I'll
stars
let you
aren't
go.
going to do that. I mean, you've got 100 kids on a roster.
But if
90 of them don't matter. But the handful that can get paid.
I don't
Yeah.
think they should make them go to class anymore either. No, that's a joke.
That's a great
They
idea.
don't want to go to class.
No, they
None of
don't
them want to go to class.
No.
And if they do, they're not serious about football.
I don't even know how you fix it now. I don't even.
I
know how
don't
you
either.
fix
No,
it.
I don't think anybody does.
You know,
Well,
we
they're
had the minute the ruse was gone,
Yeah.
it was over.
Well,
Like,
that's
It's
why
amazing they kept the ruse up so long. Isn't it
100
fucking
years.
amazing?
Well, isn't that sort of what they're doing with Reggie Bush and giving him his Heisman back?
Yeah.
Aren't they basically saying, "Yeah, I know, of course you"?
well, they should let the Fab Fives hang their banners
Yeah,
too.
They
absolutely.
probably will.
Yeah, they should. I mean, it's stupid.
It is amazing to me how Michigan forgave Chris Webber, though, the biggest asshole in the history of the university.
Hole.
Total
Do you know him?
asshole.
You don't remember he called my show one day, and me and Jamie were on the air, and we were talking about everything that was going on with Ed Martin. This is probably the late '90s, and he called he called the bullpen, and they transferred him onto the air. He wouldn't let us talk. All he kept saying was, "Who are you? What are you going to do for me? Who are you? What are you going to do for me?" And he just was berating us.
What does that even mean?
He's an idiot. He thinks he's a gangster. He's like
Oh, yeah.
Clarence from 8 Mile. You know, his parents had a really good marriage.
Yeah.
And I'll tell
Country
you.
Day Kid, right?
Yeah, when I first met Chris, I thought this guy's got the world by the balls. Great smile, nice kid.
He did.
And then I found out what a fucking dick he was.
Really?
He took money from Ed Martin and never paid him back.
No. And then he got on TV on Nightline one night and he poked his chest in Gene Stallings, who had just won a national championship with Alabama. He poked him in the chest and says, "You don't know what it's like to have them selling your jersey and you can't buy a pizza."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's taking $500,000 from Ed
That's
Martin.
what
Yeah.
Mitch Albom
Albom.
said in his book. He's like,
Yeah.
I was with Chris Webber. We looked at his expensive jerseys in the window, and then he asked
Yeah.
me for $2 for a hamburger.
Yeah, fuck that. You know,
He got $280,000 or something from Ed Martin.
400.
400
Or so-
And
no,
he
you
didn't
might be right.
fucking pay him back.
Never,
That's
not a
the
dime.
part that blows
Not-
my mind.
not
What
a
an
dime.
asshole.
Who would have known? Because remember, everyone was had trepidation about Jalen because he was the city kid.
Yeah.
Jalen turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I would
Chris
agree.
turned out to be the dick, but Chris always wanted to be the gangsta. He always wanted to be.
Always a rapper.
He wanted to be Jalen.
Yeah.
He always wanted to be
Rose.
Jalen.
And who was the other kid?
Jimmy.
Jimmy was
Jimmy's
kind of
a little bit
What-
from
wasn't
Plano,
he-
but he's from Plano too. I mean, he was from suburb of Dallas.
Some of those guys paid Ed Martin back, though, or paid
Yeah.
him back something like I thought I remember about Lewis Bullock paid him back
Yeah.
$60,000 or something.
And
I was like, wow,
Tractor.
if he could pay him back, why couldn't Weber?
Weber was a peckerhead, man.
Yeah.
I've never been more disappointed in an athlete in my life than the person he turned out to be.
Really?
Total dick.
He never learned either.
No, he's still a dick to this
I don't think
day.
the other four guys in the Fab Five even like him.
They don't even care. Like in 2013 when they all got together, they didn't care. He showed up and sat in a suite, remember?
Right, yeah.
And they sat
Didn't he
courtside.
avoid that documentary too?
Kinda.
The 30 for 30.
yeah, and I think
thought
he suggested he should have been paid for it or something.
yeah.
I don't
No one
know.
cares, dude.
Yeah.
You're out. No one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy that had an incredible career, he really is kind of a footnote of. I mean,
Should have been.
Who
He
cares
should have been a
about
Hall
him?
of Famer. Should have been
Yeah.
a. You know, he won the Rookie of the Year. You know,
Yeah.
he should have been. You know, a thing.
he played a long time. He was a good player. I mean,
Yeah.
when the Pistons got him, I was really excited.
But he was washed by then.
Yeah,
pretty
he
much.
was a good passer, though.
Yeah,
he was a better passer than I ever thought he was.
It wasn't terrible. I thought he was a great player in college. I was like, look at this fucking guy,
yeah,
man.
he
He's
was
a great
awesome.
player.
Except for the
Those years were
timeout.
Yep.
so
Of
fun.
course.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, the timeout.
Which he blamed on everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
Again,
still.
Chris he'll never take responsibility for anything.
What did he
Chris
say?
won't.
Someone on the sidelines was yelling
Demetrius
timeout.
Caleb. He said
Yeah.
Demetrius Caleb was telling him to call timeout. I'm like, so you're talking to the 12th guy in the bench in the middle of the national title game? What's wrong with you?
With seconds left.
Right.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who would blame it on a guy that never plays either?
No.
Yeah.
You know, when he's headed for millions.
Right.
That's just
Yeah.
such a dick move.
And if he were smart, he would have said, my new line of jeans is called timeout. He should have just gone with it.
Embraced
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, he
could've.
should have embraced it, and,
Yeah.
and he would have, been better off. But instead, he hid, he brooded, he blamed everybody else.
Did you get any clips from Biden was on Howard Stern
Oh, yeah.
today?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God!
I can't, first of all, I can't believe I'm alive in 2024 and Joe Biden is on Howard Stern, the guy who celebrated Wendy the Slow Adult, Jeff the Drunk,
Yep.
Numerous people who were
Beetlejuice.
retarded.
Yeah.
Right, Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Drop more
Beetlejuice.
N-bombs than the
Yeah.
rap community.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
over the years.
blackface.
Blackface.
But as long as he's a lefty, that's okay.
yeah, it's unbelievable.
It is.
Sir, it's almost sad at this
I don't
point
know-
what's happened to Stern. It's
I don't know
just
where
sad.
I'm living anymore. What's right is wrong. What's up and down
Yeah.
is down. How I stopped Howard when first when he started to go. He fired.
Jackie?
No, he fired the PD at Sirius XM.
Oh,
What
I
was
didn't
his
know that.
name? He was at YSP forever.
Oh, yeah.
Big shooter.
I know who you're talking
Not
about.
Mel. Mel was still.
No, it was one of the PDs who went from YSP with.
Grillo?
No, I'll have to look it up. But he was a big shooter at YSP. Then he went to Sirius with Howard, and then Howard met Beth, and Beth said, "You got to clean the show up." Fired that guy who was creating the Howard Stern show, which was fantastic when it first went to Sirius XM, and then he brought in some chick. That's when
Marcy Turk.
Yeah, that's when they transitioned away from Wendy the retard to Wendy the slow adult. They transitioned away from all of that.
Yeah,
crude
Gary the retard.
Yeah,
became
Gary.
Gary the Conqueror, I think.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
And
But no one's ever called him out for that.
No.
Never.
Well, Artie did, but no one cared. Artie
Artie
did a
didn't-
podcast.
Artie
about
couldn't
it.
have been serious, though.
Well, the problem with Artie is it just looks like sour grapes.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he transitioned into this absolute nutbag leftist, and I kind of suspected he always did. He always was, but he.
I think he was in some ways, but he was very much. I think there was a lot of stuff that he on the left that he hated.
Yeah.
And also he loved being a misogynist.
Yep.
He loved ragging Rosie O'Donnell because he hated her.
Yep.
And there were a lot of people on the left that he just really trashed and made their lives very difficult. And he's apologized to almost all of them now.
Has he really?
And they all accept it. He had Rosie O'Donnell on.
Yeah.
She's a friend now.
Eddie Murphy did it too. He apologized for all the old gay jokes. He apologized.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's why, because he's a Disney guy.
And
now.
it's accepted.
Yeah.
I know.
What accepts is a
Well,
fucking apology.
If
It's a
you're on
weird
the
thing.
right, if you're on the right side of the aisle, it's accepted.
Right.
If you're not on the right side of the aisle, it doesn't matter how sincere your apology.
Right.
You'll never get accepted.
never enough.
This is a new low, though. Hillary Clinton was the lowest I've ever heard Howard. When he interviewed her and kissed her ass, I mean, he ball washed her like
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe. And he ball washed Biden today. And Howard, after the 2016 election, he really didn't call out Trump at first. It slowly morphed into, oh, this guy's a terrible guy. He's lying. He's being a racist, blah, blah, blah. And now he just fucking hates Trump like nobody's business.
Because he goes to the Hamptons with these people.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and
Probably,
they,
yeah,
and they
he-
influence him. He hangs in that group now, and he's married to Beth, who is a lefty.
And he wants to interview Hillary Clinton. And he said, and he says this with a straight face, if I could have had Hillary Clinton on my show, she would have won
She
the
would have
election in
won,
2016.
whatever. Whatever.
So now he's probably thinking the same thing about Biden. Whether he says it or not, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I can't believe the bullshit that was flying on that show. Should we play a couple clips?
Yeah,
Did you hear it?
I have.
It's unbelievable.
I've heard some clips. What do we have over there, Garrett?
I got every link you sent me. And also, before we do that, I do have some super chats I want to interject.
Oh,
with.
okay. Super chats.
Oh,
Yeah,
super
yeah.
chats. Oh,
Yeah,
we're
we got super
live? I
chats
didn't know
going
we were
way back.
live.
What's a
fuck-
super
yeah.
chat?
Oh yeah. Super
It's,
chat people pay.
Oh,
To get their comments read.
To get their comments read, but
Oh.
then you got to read them. Otherwise,
It's hard
so
to interject with you
if you've
guys.
got questions for Greg Henson or Drew Lane, feel free to.
So far, we just got some mocking. So Marcus said $2. This one's for Drew. It says some people are saying Drew is Drew P. Balls, And then Francis J. Fox came in with $10 saying, you always giggle falsely. 3G stands for gonad gobbling Greg.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right. Wow, that was worth it.
They paid money to say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Could have just called in.
Yeah.
Can you call?
I used to have the phone set up.
Did you?
Yeah.
right.
I don't now, but
That's funny.
I didn't know you were doing the super chat thing.
yeah, we
That's
just
a
started
great
it.
way to go.
Yeah,
by all
it is.
means.
Yeah.
Do you do that on your show?
No, we don't. We
You know
probably
what?
should.
It's so fucking easy to turn on. I had no idea. I texted one of my engineer guys, Ron, and I said, hey, this super chat thing, is it hard to do? And he goes, you're up. He just flipped the switch, whatever, and it was that simple. So
It's funny because I listen to Drew's show, but I only have a 20-minute commute, man. So I read the list and go, what do I want to hear? And I just fast forward through it because it's just like the old radio show.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
So-
very much.
So for
I enjoy it.
Where are we live right now? Thank you.
we're on YouTube, we're on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Live on YouTube.
Detroit Cast?
TDC
yeah,
Podcast.
TDC
I'm gonna tweet it out.
Podcast, yeah. So I'll show you the clips I pulled.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got him here too if you need
So
him.
yeah, I'll have you play him, Garrett. So he's the one you were talking about, where he's talking about his accomplishments and how amazing Biden is. We've got the Trump saying that the people are losers and former soldiers are losers.
that's
that was
never been
taken
proven.
out.
Never.
That's-
I know.
He
I
didn't
know.
say that.
Biden tells Stern women would send him very salacious pictures back in the.
I saw that.
Senate
Oh,
days.
please. And he gave him the Secret Service.
Right.
This is when his wife died in 72. How many chicks were sending salacious pictures to Joe Biden?
And imagine the exploded giant bushes that would have been sent to him in those days. It's hot chick pictures. By the way, he says, I would just turn him over to Secret Service. You didn't have Secret Service.
No, he wasn't. He
asshole.
was
You
a
were
senator.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
would have had
Well,
Secret Service.
Play
What
a
are you
couple
talking
clips.
about?
Let's hear him say this.
Go ahead.
crap.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for doing this today. I want to thank you for your compassion. When I think the reason I'm so excited to talk to you was because
Can
I
you
wanted
stop
to
it for a sec?
understand.
Can you pause
Yeah.
it? Okay, my buddy, I've got a lot of people who work on Capitol Hill. You realize that Joe Biden is commonly known as the biggest fucking asshole in D.C.? He's a bully.
Oh, if you,
he's
you know,
a
he's a
loud
bully. If
mouth
you challenge
prick.
him.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see when the guy said, Joe, something about his degree or his class rank or something? He goes, I've got 3 degrees and I'll take an IQ test against you. It's
Yeah.
an 88. It's like,
Idiot.
what?
Shut
And he was
up.
lying.
My old
Total
partner,
liar.
Jay, is an attorney, and he would tell me about a woman that he worked with who was an attorney in D.C., and she swears that Biden walked in one day and asked her if she wanted to suck his cock in the broom closet.
Oh.
Yes, that's who Joe Biden is.
Yeah, let's hear more. This is good.
the tragedy in your life and how you dealt with it. And you're the kind of leader I love because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office and serving as the father of the country. Because if you're a good father to your family, which you are, I know you'll be
your
a good
hunters
father
turned
to
out
the
great,
country.
yeah.
And I want to thank you
father.
for providing a calming influence,
What?
an organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out. I remember what the world was like at that point,
The Trump
getting
vaccine?
NATO,
Yeah.
getting us to feel comfortable, standing up to Putin. I could read your greatest hits, but I'm being given the high sign. But the incredible large growth in the jobs, unemployment rate down. I don't know what people are looking for in a president, or maybe it's that people don't feel like they're getting enough or something. I don't know what it is, but I'll give you your greatest hits. The lowest uninsured rate in history. 4 out of 5 Americans are covered for less than $10 a month.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
No.
Knocking off a few ISIS leaders.
Yeah.
Cutting the emissions in half. I mean, you've always been an environmentalist.
Is Howard running his campaign? Why is he ball washing him like that? I mean, this is the
I
biggest
don't
ball
know.
washing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll give Howard, he's a good father. He always made sure his kids were clean in the shower.
Yeah.
Reform laws enough. Sitting there and fighting that battle. Respect for Marriage Act. What the hell is with people with this gay stuff? Who
No one gives
cares
a
if
shit.
someone's gay?
No one cares. Howard.
I mean, how is it affecting anybody? People in love, it's good, right?
Oh my God. That's nauseating considering who he used to be.
Yeah.
You know what this is though? This is an old man trying to cleanse his reputation. That's
Yeah,
all it
nobody's
is.
going to call him out or Howard out.
No.
I can't believe Howard. I cannot believe he's making $80 million a year over there because honestly, I don't think that many people are really listening to him. And everywhere I saw it reported, it was like, "Oh my God, the Howard Stern audience! What a great move!"
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
"Really? They don't even report their numbers anymore."
No.
And I got to tell you, I listen to Howard so rarely that I thought, "Oh, I'll listen to the Biden interview in the car on the way to the Tigers game," and I'm like, "Wait, Channel 100 won't come on. What the fuck?" And it said, "Upgrade needed." And I'm like, "What?" That's how long since I listened to him. I
Yeah.
got a new car. So I called. It took the whole drive down there.
Did
to
it
get the
really?
fucking thing added. Yeah, it's like, what's your email? I mean, it's just like the same questions over and over. Finally, as I'm done, I'm like, are we done? She goes, should we add it to your 2014 car? I'm like, what? My 2014 car? Are you kidding me? But I did get it added, so I was able to
So
listen.
yeah, you were. How
Not
was
to
it?
all of it, but
Yeah.
do we have the Secret
honestly,
Service for the salacious photos part?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Jesus.
Yeah, let me find that.
This guy.
I think Howard, honestly, I know people rave about his interview skills. I think he's one of the lousiest interviews ever. The way he makes it about himself.
Yeah.
So he doesn't listen to people. People can be halfway through a story. He'll interrupt them and never get back to the story.
Yeah.
I've heard him do that 1,000 times.
Never been a huge fan.
I think I loved Howard for a long time. I feel like now when he interviews people, he wants to make them cry or something or
Yeah.
talk about
Oprah.
their trauma.
Barbara
And
Walters.
He did it
Yeah.
with Biden today. It's all about, were you suicidal when you're, and his wife was killed, his daughter was killed. So, I mean, it's obviously a traumatic event. But
Yeah.
is
That's
that
how he started
really-
banging his babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And then his kid started banging the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of his brother.
I don't think Howard asked him about showering with Ashley, by the way, which was in the
it's crazy.
diary, which they said
Which
was
he would have
fake.
in the day. He would have asked that 20 years
back
ago.
in the,
Hell
he
yes,
would have,
he would've.
absolutely would have.
That would have been the first. That would have been his lead.
Yeah.
I
right.
bet you he is never asked about that. I bet he will never be, because they said it, oh, it's not really your diary. But then when they raided 2 people from Project Veritas, and that case has already been adjudicated, already been to court.
Yep.
The girl has already been sentenced to, I think, a month in jail, and 6 months of house arrest or something.
Something like that.
But
The other
now
guy, too.
They acknowledged it is her diary. It's just like Hunter's laptop.
Laptop, right.
Yeah, same thing. Which speaking of Hunter's laptop, doesn't it seem like that whole story about 50 intel people, Russian disinformation, wasn't that to overturn the election?
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't that the idea? Wasn't John Edwards, wasn't that to overturn the election?
Sure.
John Edwards, do you know John Edwards received millions of dollars in donations to pay off people to keep them quiet about his mistress
Of
and
course.
his baby with his
Baby.
mistress? And do you know he was not found guilty of anything?
Nothing. It's crazy. And
Clinton had Monica Lewinsky sign a false affidavit. Remember that? Which was presented in court. Look, oh, nothing happened here. None of these people have ever faced any charges.
And
for
they
any of
won't
this.
either, which is the most disturbing part.
what's going on in the courts right now and how they're being weaponized against Trump is despicable. And I'm not the big Trump fan.
I'm not either.
But what they're doing to him is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And no matter how many lawyers scream, these are stupid charges, this shouldn't even be in court, no one says anything. No one says a word. He shouldn't even be being charged for this hush money bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, it's Alvin Bragg
NDAs aren't
who
illegal.
ran on it, and Letitia James
Yep,
ran on it, and it's all in the Southern District of New York. Everything that's terrible ends up there somehow. I mean, how are you going to get a good jury for Trump there?
You can't.
And how does Howard Stern get Biden on and not ask any of those questions?
No.
As far as I could tell, not a single question
It
about
was
what's
scripted.
going on with.
I think he had approved questions he could ask. I really do.
Probably.
If you listen to it, it was not as natural and free flowing as it normally is. It was I felt like it was scripted, to be
I was
honest.
gonna say, are you going to
let-
let Biden go off teleprompter?
Right.
Play a little
Pause.
bit. Play a little bit more. See
Here's
what else
the
we got.
salacious pictures. It's 20 seconds.
I got put in that 10 most eligible bachelors list.
Because you were a United States Senator, you were a catch.
And,
Yeah.
and so,
Catch.
and a lot of lovely women, but women would send very salacious pictures, and I just give them to the Secret Service. I thought somebody would think I was, and I just gave up. I got put in that 10.
You know how they do fact checks when Trump
Right.
speaks,
yeah.
and Trump
They had a
does.
counter on CNN.
Trump gets a lot of shit wrong. He lies a lot. Biden never gets. Nobody fact checks any of this.
No, never.
What about the lifeguard stuff? Do we have that?
Yeah, let me look for it.
Which one? The lifeguard one.
He says he saved six people's lives, and they're all black people, of course, because Joe Biden loves black people more than anyone.
And he probably went to a lot of beaches with black people back in the day.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure. That was like
just
Reagan,
like,
right?
just like his, wasn't his daddy and him that saw two guys making out in 1950, and they were like, oh, yeah. Totally normal, Joey.
No, he said, Joey, love is love.
Love is love. These are just two young men in love.
Back in the 60s.
Sure.
Yeah, like he didn't kick his kid and go, look at those two
Look
gays.
at these faggots over here. Yeah. As if in the late 50s this country.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at those fairies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
it's
Joey, love is love.
Joey love.
Fuck off. No one will really fact check about Uncle Bozy, who was eaten by Papua New Guineas.
No,
And corn pop.
Actually, Peter Ducey did ask the press secretary about that, and all she says is, Joe is obviously showing how proud he was of his uncle's service, and how dare you.
Don't
and,
make
like,
fun
what?
of him.
Yeah, this is not
We're
funny.
not going to joke
Peter
about
Ducey
this.
was. I remember I'm looking at his face, and it's like Peter's not making a joke here. Your fucking boss said that. He said that on microphone yesterday. I think it's worthy to be asked about.
Oh, I totally agree. It's
Yeah,
Absolutely.
ridiculous.
I mean,
I
let's
hate
know the
her.
story. It sounds like a wild story.
I hate John.
She's horrible.
She's the awful
Liar, just a liar, man.
Yeah.
And thinks nothing.
I mean,
about
but
just
that-
spitting out crap.
That's her job, though. She just lies no matter what it is. She's just
I know.
lying for
I
that
hate it.
for that office. It's terrible.
It is.
I mean, Kayleigh McEnany was unbelievable. She
too.
kicked the shit out of those people.
And she was
I mean,
hot.
she knew what she was talking about. There's such a difference between someone that knows what they're talking about and brings receipts versus Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Well, she's the DEI hire. First
Oh,
black
100%.
lesbian.
Yeah.
Did you see Trump's assistant that was in court today?
No.
She worked for him for like 30 years. She's pretty cute, actually. I was surprised. Like, wait, 34 years? She must be older, but she looked pretty good.
Is Pecker still talking?
No, she's followed Pecker, and she's
They
like
called him Dirty Pecker.
she's the person I guess you have to go through to
Oh.
get Trump. So she's a big gatekeeper for Trump.
Okay.
And,
Hope? You talking about?
Oh,
is that who you're
yeah,
talking
it's
about?
Hope Hicks.
Hope
no,
Hicks.
not Hope Hicks. It's
Oh.
it's someone older than
Madeline
Hope Hicks.
Worsthaupt?
Hope Hicks is much younger than that.
Is it Madeline Worsthaupt?
I hope so.
Because this is the one that said they just resigned. It's the only one that shows up when I search Trump's assistant.
I'm not sure. I can't remember what. I've never heard of her before.
Trump's like an NFL quarterback, though. He's always got a young blonde at his
Oh my God! Even his lawyers, it's like these are the people that represent you, and they're smoking hot. All
Remember when the one came out and was screaming on the court step? I was like, look at her, man. He had some hot babe lawyer for the last thing.
Yeah.
When he had to pay the millions and millions of dollars, she was screaming. Is that her
Is that her?
right there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, he does seem to somehow the attractive women
yeah.
seem to end up in the Trump organization.
Absolutely.
It's pretty crazy.
What other clips do we have there, Garrett?
Yeah, the one that you guys were looking for about him being a hero and everything like that.
Sure,
Joey.
6 minutes, so feel free to interject whenever.
Okay.
Again, because I was asking you about loss. The loss of your son was devastating. But you know what strikes me? Here you were a U.S. senator, and you know the song by Creedence Clearwater, I'm Not a Fortunate Son.
No,
Your
that's-
son,
that's not the
he's
song.
a son of a senator, joins the military and was in Iraq.
Not the first.
Look,
Wasn't he a truck driver or something?
Bo,
He lives with a lot of time. To
my
talk.
son Bo should be sitting there instead of me. He was more capable than I am.
Because he's not dead.
And he was the Attorney General of the state of Delaware.
Well, now I got that job.
And one day I came home. I'd come home all the time. And he came over to the house. He was living in Delaware, and he said, "Dad, what are you doing on Friday?" I said, "What do you need?" He said, "I need you to pin my bars on me." I said, "Pin your bars on you? What the hell are you talking about?" He said, "I joined the National Guard," and facetiously said, "Somebody's got to do this anyway."
Why don't you bring up Hunter entering the Army? Remember when you showed up for that swearing in?
Yeah, right.
What, Hunter last a month?
Yeah,
We got busted for blow.
Blow.
What happened to the coke at the White House, by the way?
Smartest guy
Oh,
he
I'd love to
knows.
know that.
That's weird. They don't have any cameras in there, I guess.
No,
they can't
no.
figure that out.
They don't have fingerprint availability or anything. They're just like, I don't know. So the most secure house on planet Earth, they
Right.
can't figure out whose blow this is. Someone brought blow in, and we're just.
Trump would have been in office. They'd have found the blow.
Oh,
They would have found who had the blow.
I'm surprised they haven't tried a way to finger him for it, anyways.
well, the
Blame
media,
Trump.
it's just so in the pocket for the Democrats. It's sickening.
When did that happen?
It started
It's been going on for a long time, but it feels now like
Bush,
it
the
is.
first Bush in the early
Aged up?
'90s. Remember when in the early 90s, he couldn't buy a break? Like the economy wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And all they did was pound and pound and pound. Because I remember listening to Limbaugh going, yeah, he's right. This is not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. And they used to just bludgeon him.
Yeah.
And then with Clinton, they pretty much rode him right to office.
Yep.
And then, of course...
Well, Ross Perot ran and
Yeah.
threw it
Yeah.
into...
Right.
Basically, so a majority was not going to win. Clinton only won, I think, 43% of the...
I thought it was like 42.
Was it?
Yeah, something
It
like
was-
that.
it
You're right.
wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the first Bush was when it really started to change, but it was always subtle. It was always there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to Limbaugh in 84, he would point it out back then. He's like, look at this. This is ridiculous. But now all pretense are gone.
They're gone.
I mean,
but that's
you see
what
Dan
I mean.
Rather?
Taking the lid off now, where it's like you're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Dan Rather is an insane leftist.
Yeah.
You know who else is? Mort Krim.
Really?
Mort Krim is a crazy progressive.
I never detected it on Channel
no,
4.
Not on 4, but he was, which you can't tell me that didn't get into the writing of stories.
Oh, yeah, I think it does. But I think there was more balance.
They tried harder.
You know, like NPR has 87 registered Democrats in editorial positions and 0 Republicans.
That's
and the guy,
just criminal.
Berlinger, that wrote the story, said we did have Republicans, registered
Yeah.
Republicans in editorial positions. But and he said, and we did good work too. But he was really saying, NPR is not respected anymore. It
Right.
doesn't have the audience it used to have. And,
No.
and doesn't that fucking matter? That's what I can't figure out. I guess if you're NPR, your ratings don't matter.
Mattered for you and I because we needed ratings to get money, but these guys we fund it. I mean, they fund it. Rich people fund it.
I don't understand what's in it for them, the Mort Krims of the world, or like how did they all of them become these? Like what?
You know
you
how.
can't be how.
They want to be invited to the cocktail parties. That's what they love.
But there was a day when everybody was at the cocktail parties and you just disagreed with each
But
other.
not anymore. Not
No.
anymore, man. If you want to be in the Hamptons with Howard, that's where Howard hangs now.
No, I know those pictures of him with Jennifer Aniston
Yeah.
and Jimmy Kimmel.
He made
and
fun of those people.
forever.
Well, I think journalism now, with a lot of young journalists, I think it's about I'm right and I'm going to do the right thing and I'm not going to
Yeah.
have balance and suggest that it's anything, but I'm going to make sure that the right news gets out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of ignoring of bad news, which there's so many things we don't read about now. It's crazy.
I know.
It's fucking nuts. Well, the Fox News covers it, but Fox News is just Fox News.
Right. It's
Yeah.
the same thing on the
and
other
they just
side.
dismiss it anyways.
Right.
If it comes from Fox News, it's just dismissed at hand.
And Fox News omits a million things too.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I feel like to get to the bottom of anything, I have to read 4 or 5 different sources
100%,
and
but-
sort of like make up my own mind.
You have to.
Yeah.
There's nowhere that will tell you the honest to God's truth on news. You can't get it anywhere. Like
Dr. Phil's coming to save the day.
But
Isn't that what his whole thing
Oh,
is?
really?
He's starting
He was
a new
on TMZ
broadcast.
today. What's Dr. Phil doing?
He's starting, or he claims he's starting some media company that's going to be all about just straight news down the middle. You know, one of those things. But I mean,
It'll probably fail miserably.
Yep.
and it'll be tagged
It
as alt right mega MAGA anyways.
Right,
If they're
'cause
trying to
he's-
do that, they'll just tag it as. They'll do the same thing they've done with Rumble or anything else.
Because he is a conservative. Dr. Phil is.
Yeah.
You can tell
Yeah,
by
he
hearing
is.
him talk.
Yeah.
You know who I like to listen to? If you like to read between the lines, I listen to Dave Ramsey because I feel like every now and then he throws a quip in about what's right, what's wrong. But they write him off as, and I know he's a financial guy, but he's got some pretty good world takes that you can get if you listen to all the financial shit.
I just don't understand how we get to a point now where
And Ben Shapiro too, by the way.
Yeah, he says interesting things.
I like
mean, he's
Ben.
an obvious. He's a right guy.
Oh,
I mean, he does. I don't.
But
think
he's
he
a
would deny
right-wing
it.
Jew, which is not normal.
Yeah, that's definitely very unusual.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like watching this stuff, like I go, these people, you can't really believe that. Do people still believe like the Charlottesville shit? There are good people on
Yes.
both sides. Like, and it's like you can't still believe that that's not horseshit. That's not what was said. Like you're smart people. How do you still say that and not understand what this is? Like, how do you? Are you like? I feel like if Biden said that. And someone said to me, like, oh, what a piece of shit. He said there's both people on both
He
sides.
just did the other day.
I know he did. But if you went to the the Trump extreme
Yeah.
and they were trying to say, I would be able to see through that and go, that's not what he meant. Look, I agree. Biden's a sack of shit, but that's
Right.
not what he said there. I could at least have that conversation. It feels like anybody on the left right now can't even have that conversation.
No.
And I don't understand it. Like, do you really believe that? What's going on here?
And
I have a hard time with the people, the Ben Shapiros too, and whether it's Ben Shapiro, John Oliver, whoever it is, they just make it sound like they know they are so right about everything.
Right.
I was gonna say.
And they're not.
No.
Right.
Nobody is right about everything. And I feel sometimes they spend so much time, like, have you ever seen John Oliver prove a point about how shitty Trump is?
Yeah.
Which, half the time, I think his premise I agree with. But by the time he's done, it's like, if you don't 100% agree with me, you are a complete dumb shit.
Yeah.
And
No,
I think
that's
Shapiro
true.
does the same thing.
But
they're very good at it, though.
Yeah, he brings receipts though. I like that he
Who?
brings
Who
Ben.
does?
Ben
Ben.
will bring
John
audio.
Oliver does too.
Does he? I don't see him that often.
He's fun. And John Oliver can be very funny.
Is he?
He can, but he can
But I
also
get
be
annoyed with him.
completely full
But
of
I've turned
shit,
a lot
too.
of those guys off now, like
Yeah.
Kimmel and all. I don't even bother. 'Cause
No,
I
me either.
don't want to be talked to that way. Because I disagree with them. But the people that piss me off are the Twitter influencers that are hired by the campaigns to just blatantly lie or omit fact.
Yeah.
It's just one side. Like he says, like Howard today says, you created all these jobs. No, he didn't.
No.
People went back to work after the pandemic.
Yeah.
There were no government doesn't create jobs. It never has.
The crime's down. Crime's down. It's like no. Crime reporting is down.
Right.
When you lower the police standards, when you don't take them seriously, you think people in Chicago are calling the cops every time someone breaks into
migrants
their car?
don't.
No one shows
migrants
up.
don't report crime
No, right.
because
No,
they don't want to be deported.
No, but it makes it easy
a lot
then-
of people will tell you that migrants commit less crime than real Americans.
Sure.
And by the way, this new line about it was who's it? Laken Riley.
Yeah.
Laken
was a Georgia
Riley's
student.
Laken Riley's relative, I think it was her sister, said something like, yes, she was killed by an undocumented person. But what about all the people who were killed by Americans?
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about your fucking sister. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why are you saying that?
And I know her dad is a conservative. I've heard him speak. That must drive him nuts.
Yeah.
Biden said it too. He said it in the State of the Union. He said, because they're going, Laken Riley, because that idiot Marjorie Traylor Greene, who I can't stand.
Did you say Traylor?
Fucking
Yeah,
idiot.
Marjorie.
She can't stop yelling at the fucking State of the
The old
Union.
stuttering John.
Yeah.
What a Marjorie Traylor Greene.
Oh my God, she is.
And
Traylor.
so Joe Biden goes, yes, and he, Lincoln Riley,
Right, USC head
and he
coach.
says, was killed by an illegal immigrant, and it's terrible. But Americans murder people all the time too, so it's not that bad.
So that makes it right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
And then he apologized. He apologized to a murderer.
Right,
yeah,
He
I
said,
know.
I shouldn't have called him an illegal alien. He's an undocumented murderer.
Like that's the worst thing he's ever done was be undocumented.
Yeah.
No, he
Jesus
murdered
Christ.
Laken, not Lincoln Riley.
Right.
What the fuck?
It's so fucked up.
And
man.
undocumented, that sounds like somebody who just like they're missing in the files or something.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
they came over the border illegally.
Right.
Yeah. And they're gaming the system too. I love reading the reports of the people that crash the border, collect a couple grand, go back, come back again, collect a couple grand, because they're paying them when they get across.
It's
the border.
insane.
It's just-
The sense of entitlement from the people just crashing the border pisses me off.
Oh,
It's
they're
like,
getting debit cards now in New York,
Yeah.
and look at the money Chicago's spending.
I know.
Oh.
It's insane.
Is Chicago or New York going to wake up?
No.
You
Yeah,
think they'll vote
I
different?
think
think New
there's a
York
lot of
is.
people very angry about this
Really?
in Chicago and New York. Did you know Trump is 10 points behind Biden in New York?
Yeah,
in New York.
He's going to turn it purple if
I
not fucking
don't believe
red.
that. I see these polls and I'm like, nah, I got fooled last time on these polls. I'm
Well,
not buying it again. I don't believe he's going to win Michigan. I don't think he's going to win.
Who,
win
Biden or
Wisconsin.
Trump?
Trump.
I
think
don't know,
Michigan's
but
gone.
Trump was expected to lose by more last election than he lost by, wasn't he? Was he supposed to lose by like 6 points or 7 points or something?
I thought it had closed significantly, but I'm talking about the. I'm talking about the red wave that never happened.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I'm
I
not buying
totally
any of that
agree.
shit anymore.
No, and that's why these people that think Trump is just the be all end all of the Republican Party. I don't understand it because
No.
it hasn't worked.
DeSantis would be up by 15 points on Biden right now.
Well, anyone they poll against Biden is, and
Yeah.
anyone they poll against Trump does better than Biden.
I know.
It's insane. These two people are it's just so ridiculous. I can't
I'm-
believe we're doing this again.
I know.
I'm stunned by it. But I mean, on one hand, this is truly, and I've never said this because I hate it when people say it. It is the lesser of two evils, and I think Biden's fucking evil.
I do,
I really
too.
do. And I hate his policies.
And I agree. I don't think Biden's bad. I think he's fucking evil. I honestly do.
From the
I think he's a
people-
rotten person.
He's a rotten old man.
He's
He
a
is,
rotten,
to the
miserable
core.
old man, and I don't think he has any clue what's going on or he's obviously not running shit. Clearly.
No, of course
so,
not.
those people want to keep their jobs just like anybody else, so they're going to keep pushing that weekend at Bernie's bullshit.
Yep.
And, do you guys want to hear more from the
Yeah,
clips?
for sure. Any more super chats come in?
Actually, we did. John Skimpy Halloween Hand came in with $2. Lost all respect for Howard after hearing that, referring to the interview.
What took you
What
so
respect
long?
you had left? Yeah.
Yeah.
He also said Brandon did great on Point Dabble Point today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tweeted out that Mike needs to fix his house up, so he needs some super chats.
Yeah.
Did you already do a
Thanks,
show
Drew.
today?
No, I
Oh.
don't do a show on Friday.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I know it's been a long week. We went to Frank Caliendo on Wednesday
Yeah.
night. Went to the Tigers
He was
today.
great.
He's funny. He's a good dude.
Yeah, Frank is. He is.
Did you text him, Drew? Did you?
I did. Yeah. No, he's really nice.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Were we in the middle of a?
Yeah, we were in the middle of this one right here about being a hero.
Oh,
So what happened after that was...
Were you in shock that he joined the National
No,
Guard?
I wasn't in shock. It didn't surprise me. It just, I wasn't encouraging him to do it. He was sitting Attorney General. He had to give up the Attorney General's job because you either have to work for the president or for the state.
So he was Attorney General at that
He was
point.
Attorney General. Now he could join the National Guard and be accountable to the governor. But when the Guard unit got sent overseas, he got an exception to be able to give up response. He wasn't
How
allowed
long
to
does
do
it
any
take to say something so fucking simple?
Oh, my God. It's a beating, man.
it is.
It's a goddamn
That
beating.
voice. Is it just me or that voice? It's getting worse by the day.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have the lifeguard thing where he says he saved 6 people?
I don't. Yeah, let me see if
Maybe
I
we
can
didn't
find
finish that
Him-
clip either.
It was him and Ronald Reagan, right? Remember Reagan? He used to be a lifeguard, and the whole story was he saved people all the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
more
he-
believable when it was Ronnie.
Yeah.
Reagan was everything. He was a fucking Cubs announcer. He was an actor. He
Yeah,
was the
but
head of the Screen Actors Guild.
He was
Yeah.
the Cubs announcer in a studio in Des Moines. He never was at a Cubs
Yeah,
game.
he was creating.
Really?
play-by-play.
He recreated
Reagan
it
was
all.
a-
He
was
recreated.
a
We get the
Cubs
ticker
announcer?
tape that would say, so and so single left. You go,
No
oh,
way.
and there's a blooper into left,
Yep.
and it
Which
drops
is-
in.
Back in the day, they bang a couple sticks
Yeah.
together. Low line or the left.
He redid. They're all doing that now.
What?
There's a lot of announcers, minor league guys, who are doing it from their basement.
Oh, are they?
Really?
Since the pandemic, they figured they didn't have to travel with them anymore.
So do they have a monitor? They're able to
and
watch
they,
it,
and
or
they have crowd noise. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
I-
they stream it on Major League Baseball. Anyway, that's
oh my god, that's
they're all doing it
I was
again.
reading about somebody's complaining that a podcast, it was a popular podcast too, they have all their, this many minutes in is this topic, and they said that AI was doing that.
Yeah.
And AI was fucking it up.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
So,
AI was like,
somehow AI was giving people the show notes.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, and there was a couple mistakes AI kept making over and over, and they couldn't
Yeah,
figure out
I
who
think
is that idiot
Carl
doing
was
that.
talking about it. It was Brandon Schaub and Charlemagne the God were doing that with their podcast, and it'd be like a 30-second part of their podcast was its own clip that AI said was its own clip.
and it was just
Oh,
It was just
okay.
basically
oh,
nonsense.
okay.
Are there any other clips on Twitter from this?
You want to talk about Roe v. Wade?
I don't care.
Yeah, I'll hear what he says. Sure, that issue's a big winner for Biden.
Oh, yeah,
they're going to be
It's
talking
the only
about that.
issue he has.
Yeah.
to
It's
be
a big
honest.
one though. Gretchen, look what Gretchen did with it. She
Yeah.
ran on it.
Yeah,
God, I hate
that clip
her.
of Tudor Dixon.
Yeah.
I mean that they just
killed her.
beat to death around here.
Well-
Yeah.
They're like, for rape and incest, it was like,
But that was Tudor Dixon's fault. She's a dumbass.
That was dumb. That was stupid.
Stupid.
I mean,
stupid.
Just
Well,
having
let's
that
see
on
what he
tape.
said about Roe v. Wade. I can't
Well,
wait.
it's a really extremely conservative court, maybe the most conservative court in modern history.
Whose fault is
And,
that?
one of the things that when they struck down Roe v. Wade, saying that it was not federal constitutionally guaranteed, it was a state issue. States could make those judgments. I think they don't, and one of the justices, Clarence Thomas, said, it's not that women don't have a choice. They can, in fact, change it if they, in effect, at a state level, but we'll see if they have any power. Well, I ain't seen nothing yet.
I completely fell asleep. Is he
Yeah.
still talking?
Yeah, he is.
What part of the Constitution doesn't he understand, though, is what pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's clearly a state's issue. Do you know why? Because it's not addressed in the Constitution. We are a federal republic. these people need to. If you want, that's what I told my wife, and she didn't get freaked out, but I know a lot of women who did. I'm like, here's what you do. Change the Michigan Constitution. Go get the votes, go campaign, and get it changed if you want to.
Easy.
It's not a national issue. It won't be easy to do, but the path is very clear on how to get what you want.
There's also a morning after pill now.
Yeah.
I mean, honest to God, it's so easy to not get pregnant now. I couldn't believe people were going, oh my God, people are going to be going to other states. And they're going to have to travel hundreds of miles. They won't be able to do it. And they'll just have to have the babies. This is so terrible. It's like, there's a pill you take the morning after you fuck.
Or your eye.
Or what?
Your eye.
Your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said on our show up there. There's plenty of other parts of the body that aren't fertile.
Yeah. Target practice. This one really pisses me off too, because if you ask people on the left, they wanted you to believe that it was super precedent, Roe v. Wade. And it's like, no.
not.
This was so... Anybody that knows any constitutional lawyers or lawyers in general, they've argued for 50 years about Roe v. Wade. You don't have to like that.
Right.
But that's the reality. This was always going to come to a place like this. And this bullshit that Joe Biden's going to fix Roe v. Wade. And here's the problem. They could have codified Roe v. Wade in 2008. Of
course.
When Obama had control of the House,
For
the
2
Senate.
years.
For 2 years, he ran on it. And then when he got in, and that was a day one priority, was codifying Roe v. Wade. And then when he got the opportunity, he said it wasn't a priority right now.
But you know why
But
you
they
can't?
want to run on it time and time again and have this fucking fight every 4 years. They had an opportunity to codify it. And the fact of the matter is, the right was never going to codify it. So the left had to just go do it. Don't blame the right for this. You could have done it years ago.
You know who they
and
should
you
blame?
fucking blew it off. So I don't want to hear from Joe Biden. He was VP at the time.
You got to blame Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
100%
Because
you should blame
she
her.
thought Hillary was going to win, and she wasn't going to step down till Hillary got in
Yeah.
office because she
Yep.
was going to, she wanted to see the first woman president, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And then Hillary lost and Ruth died.
Ruth died.
And
Sorry.
here we are.
Yep.
So if she would have just gotten over herself and stepped down.
Yeah.
And they would have been able to put Merrick Garland on the court like they wanted
Oh,
to.
thank
And
God
she
that
didn't
happen. That guy's turned out to be a psychopath.
You know that guy ain't shit.
Who's the psychopath?
Merrick Garland.
Oh, America.
And I thought when Obama pulled him up to be nominated, and then the right was like, we're not even going to hear it.
Right.
Fuck off.
Yeah, get lost.
But they did. I was kind of impressed with Merrick Garland.
Yeah, but
boy,
he was going to
fucking-
be a centrist. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what he
right.
acted like. And holy
course
shit,
they
was
did.
I wrong about
I think packing the Supreme Court was one of the biggest mistakes Trump
Yeah.
made.
Why is that?
Because if Roe v. Wade hadn't gotten turned around, he wouldn't have
would've
to
won.
deal with that issue. And I think when
Yeah.
he bragged about it, I think he just made it worse.
Yeah, and I don't think Trump gives a shit about
No, he doesn't
abortion. He's
care.
probably had a dozen
But
of
is
them
that
himself.
worse than the House of Representatives in New York, the state house, standing up and cheering when they said you could abort up to 9 months?
Well,
I mean, that was
it's
disgusting.
very
too.
strange. Yeah, I don't know. It's an odd topic when people
And you know
get
what?
excited about something.
And I don't give a damn. I don't have girls. I'm not a girl. I don't give a damn about abortion.
Yeah.
But
There's the morning after pill.
Right.
It's not that fucking
Right.
hard.
No,
Jesus Christ.
But the morning after pill isn't good enough. They
But
want
abortion- It's
with it.
an
This
out-
is a losing argument for
You know
the
what,
right.
though?
it's an
It
outdated.
is.
It's an outdated procedure anyway. Which
Yeah,
I agree with
morning
you.
after pill's way better.
When someone like Gretchen Whitmer makes an issue out of it, by the way, notice that no one asks her, so how long do you think into a pregnancy someone should be able to have an abortion? She'll never have to answer that question because no one will ask her.
Why? And what do you think her answer
Because
would be? Up to
the
9
media,
months?
there's nobody in the media that would have the balls to do
no.
it. If she said 9 months, believe me, a lot of people go, wait a second.
Whoa,
Fuck,
yeah,
what the
right.
fuck?
Yeah.
Right.
But she never even has to answer that.
And I
And
think
Arizona just flipped theirs. They just overturned that. You know, the
1800s
the
one.
1864 one. So now it's 15.
Was there
weeks.
abortion in
that-
1860?
Was that law
Yes,
really
we looked it
affecting
up.
a lot of things?
We
goes
looked it
back-
up. It was like the 1500s. Was
Really?
Like the first
No, earlier it was
abortion.
1500 BC.
1500 BC. Yeah.
had
And I was
procedural
like, what? Did they
abortion.
just punch him in the gut because they didn't have coat
Probably.
hangers in the 1500s?
When were stairs invented?
Hangers.
Yeah,
I don't
hangers.
know.
Isn't
yeah,
that-
when were stairs invented?
How many stories have you heard about dads doing that to their daughter when they found out they were
Oh,
pregnant?
yeah.
I mean,
I personally have never heard that story.
oh, you haven't? Oh my God! It's
Actually, neither
it's
have
in-
I. But
no,
that does sound like something that
It's in movies.
crazy dad
Wasn't
would
that
do.
in Coal Miner's Daughter or something? Dude,
maybe.
dude
What-
punched
that's,
Loretta.
That's possible.
Yeah, I could.
I
I
just
back in
don't-
Kentucky.
Yeah. I could see that.
I feel like Du beat her up because she was pregnant with the first child. Maybe I'm misremembering that movie. I don't know.
You're probably right.
I haven't seen Coal Miner's Daughter in a long time.
Me either.
but
I
don't know
That
if
wouldn't
I've ever
surprise
seen
me.
it.
I'm watching that tonight. Fuck it.
Is it good?
I love Loretta Lynch. Because she started the song Now I Got the Pill, right?
I don't
She,
know.
in the 60s, did a song called Now I Got the Pill, and it was a big women's lib deal. Like,
By the way, there's two songs that are floating all over the internet right now, and I somebody sent one to me, and I didn't play it. I think it's I glued my balls to my ass or to
I
my
know this
butthole
song.
or something.
I glued my balls to my butthole.
Yeah, do you have that? Because
Sounds like a catchy jingle.
Carl on Who Are These Podcasts
time.
played
I got
another
it.
one yesterday, and it's a guy sings I'm playing with my nipples. Shit, what's the name of that fucking
hell?
song? It's a dude singing it.
Is it Howard Stern?
No, it's
Oh.
it's an artist from a long time ago, I think. But do you have that song over there?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Let's-
It's been
who's-
sent to me
who's
a
it
couple
by?
times. And actually, we have a relevant super chat for this. It's from AA Ron. That's $2. Says this is a super chat. Balls fuck. And then here's the
Okay.
song.
Huh? Okay.
Thank you, AA Ron.
$2 for that?
I got my balls to my butthole, yeah. Oh my God, what did I do? I can't take the dump, 'cause now my balls are blocking up my butthole. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on
What made you think of this?
Because people were sending it to me.
What? Who sings
And the other
it?
one is it's a dude talking about playing with his nipples. Carl had it on Who Are These Socials last night. Actually, if you can fast forward through the show, you might see the album cover, and it's got the name of the song. But it was kind of funny, and it sounded like an old recording too. And
That sounds like an old recording.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is
Have you
kind
heard
of a
have you
strange
gotten
old
in-
recording?
Have you gotten into Gangsta Fag yet?
Oh boy.
No.
You haven't
What
heard
is
Gangsta
that?
Fag yet? Oh, can we play him a
I'm
little bit
gonna
of
find
Gangsta
this.
Fag?
Yeah, hold up.
Yeah.
Did we take a
Carl might
break?
like this.
Can we take a commercial break in the show?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
I just gotta
Play
pee.
some Gangsta Fag.
pee.
Yeah.
I'm going to
You
pee.
want- all right,
Be right back.
just
I got some
piss.
gangsta fag here. He wants it. Our favorite.
I'm not
You gotta
familiar
pay
with this
attention to the
genre.
lyrics. Oh, it's great.
It's horrorcore.
It's gonna get stuck in your head.
Did you become a fan of this genre?
Huge fan.
Great.
See, I was getting high with my boys one day, just kicking back, hanging out in LA. When this dude drove by in this really funky Benz, I could tell right away this motherfucker had ends. Was a white dude, about 30-something, kept staring at me, yo, like he wanted something. He called me over and he asked for directions. I saw his dick was hard, so I beat his car. I said, you lying, you know you ain't lost. You wanna suck my dick while I'm jacking you off? And he said, oh no, there must be a mistake. I got a wife and a kid, and I'm very, very straight. So I said, take my number and my name. You can call me up when you're sick of playing games. As I walked away, yo, I knew he would call. Cause if you see one fag, they can see them all. He wants some. So what the fuck you think? He needs some. So what the fuck you mean? He wants some.
Did Diddy inspire this?
What's that?
Is this Diddy inspired?
A little bit.
No,
Actually,
I
this
mean,
is
this-
pre-Diddy. It's 2006.
Yeah,
I mean,
this goes
Diddy
back
is
years.
clearly gay, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts
I-
about it.
I've heard the audio. Don't make me play it, Drew. Meek Mill. Poor Meek Mill's asshole.
Is this the end of Diddy? Will the black community not accept him as a gay man?
I don't know.
What if he came out and was like, yes, I'm gay. I've been tortured all these years.
Yeah.
Tries the Kevin Spacey.
What's that?
He tries the Kevin Spacey
But
defense.
Kevin
Oh,
Spacey,
no.
we knew was gay.
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
Spacey also tried to use it to get out of nailing a 14-year-old or trying
Yeah,
to nail
true.
a 14-year-old when he was like 30.
Yeah, exactly.
And the gay community was not having it.
No. Which was kind of funny too. The way the gay community was like, "Oh, fuck off! You don't get to come in here now." And by the way, I'm gay. Leave me alone.
Yeah, nice
They were
try,
like, Nice
Spacey."
try, dude. No, but it sucks for us because I love Spacey. I think Kevin Spacey.
Oh, I love him as an actor,
awesome.
for sure.
Did we really know he was gay? I didn't.
I did.
Yeah,
it was a
really?
lot.
There-
Yeah,
There were stories.
there were a lot of
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the tabloids did a lot of stories on him years ago.
Yeah.
where he'd be making out with some dude, and then he'd go, "That's crazy. I was
He was
just
just,
kissing me goodbye. What are you talking about?"
It pissed
Leaving
me
that
off.
one in his back pocket.
It pissed me off that they
What's that?
canceled. They canceled that show on Netflix, House of Cards. Because
Oh,
of
yeah.
that was
That was
such a
popular.
great show. Great show.
I know that's
Yeah, this-
amazing how Me Too just obliterated people. That was so weird. Like I still feel like the Matt Lauer thing was weird.
A little over the top. He wants to do a comeback now, though. I read he wants to give. Did you see though the Harvey
I
Weinstein
was about to
story
say.
yesterday?
Yeah,
They overturned it.
Is he out on?
Sorry.
Is he out on bail?
No.
Was that Diddy and
No.
Meek Mill?
Yeah. that was
No, I
Diddy
don't think he's out of bail.
No,
On bail.
no, because he's still the LA one. So he's still doing time.
He made some great movies. I just wonder if he could get a movie off while he's out. Because he did have, I mean,
those are
great
great
movies.
He'll definitely get off.
He's going to have to go through some casting before.
Yeah.
Hey, Cameron Diaz, come on down.
I was looking at the list of women. It's over 100 chicks. And
Really?
the ones that were all like rape, you know.
Oh, for Weinstein?
For Weinstein.
Oh, no.
It's brutal. And
he's an evil motherfucker.
Yeah,
He's a horrible, horrible guy.
It's the who's who of Hollywood. Like women, too.
It's
Uma
incredible.
Thurman's and
And yet, all those people acting like, I had no idea.
Yeah, bullshit. They all knew.
And all these guys, too.
Everyone knew.
Oh, I had no idea. Everyone knew. And tell me everyone did not know Kanye West was this horrible fucking guy, too.
Weirdo. Well, it's like, but it was the same thing at Penn State. Everyone knew Jerry Sandusky. They made jokes about it at the ice cream joint going, you want a Sandusky? Well, what's that?
Yeah.
Well, that's 2 scoops with a thing, cone on it. It was a Sandusky dick.
Well,
yeah.
Let me ask you
I
something.
felt bad for the redheaded quarterback who had to walk in the shower and walk past it. Yeah.
McQuaid?
What about,
McQuaid.
Larry Nasser? I really had mixed feelings about this, and I can't say many people have agreed with me, but
You had mixed feelings on Larry Nasser?
no, not about whether he should be punished.
Okay.
But it was all the collateral people that went to prison, because some of them I thought were just very naive, and then he fooled the police.
Yeah.
He fooled the FBI. The FBI just paid, $138 million to the victims because they said, oh, yeah, if we'd acted a year earlier, then 100 of these things wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And I'm like, so wait, so if you're in the FBI and you let it happen, the government just pays a lot of money and nothing happens to you. But if you're a dumb gymnastics coach.
Assistant coach, right.
Yeah, who's stupid, you go to prison.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, the cops get immunity on that stuff, though. I mean,
I know, but did people wanted these people to go to prison? They're like, how could this woman? And it's like, wait, but there's parents who were told their kids were getting molested. No one sends them to prison.
right. Well, and the parents were like, well, we just thought this was normal. Really?
No,
Really?
people don't call the parents complicit. They call them victims.
And when the girl comes home and says, yeah, I went to the doctor for a bad back and he put his fingers in. I mean, how
the
does
parents wanted them to be gymnastic stars. He was
Right.
the USA Gymnastics guy, so they would ignore it.
If it comes out, you'll never get to the Olympics.
Well, don't forget, he was also
That's what it
quoting,
was.
Probably.
text from he was quoting text from the 1800s and stuff that involved that stuff. Yeah, he was trying to bring up old medical documents saying that putting your fingers in pussy fixes a back.
He gave demonstrations to 2 police departments out there, and he sold them both.
And they
on
all
it.
clapped. Good job,
I think
Dr.
they just
Nasser.
said, "Oh, you're not doing anything wrong after all." It's crazy. Did you find Carl's song, by the way?
Oh, no, I'm still looking.
See if you can speed through. Maybe I can do it.
Can you see the police guys go, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it.
Oh, that was.
The cops are like, this is how we do it on the street, man. Dr. Nasser doesn't know shit. But yeah, that's insane. What are you looking for now?
I was looking for that other song that was sort of the. It was like the second song from the, I glued my balls to my asshole.
Yeah.
There was another
I think I can
song.
get the channel here because all those songs are AI. The channel's called Obscurest Vinyl. Thanks to Aaron for telling me that one.
That's funny.
It was
So-
on Who These Socials? I think I can find it actually because I can find the album cover if I spin through here. Hold on.
All right.
Talk amongst yourselves.
You want to play some more Gangsta Fag?
Yeah, I would like to hear some.
Greg
I'm
didn't
not
hear-
familiar with the
Yeah, this
genre.
is-
Yeah,
AI.
I mean, this is a story.
Is
He's
it
a
rap?
storyteller. Yeah, he's a
See one bag, now you see them all. He wants some. So what the fuck you need? He needs some. So what the fuck you think? He wants some. Cause if you see one bag, then you see them all. So I
Is he
knew that
gay?
he'd be climbing the wall.
Oh, yeah.
1 week later, and he finally called. He said his family's gone for a week or 2, and he was really bored and needed something to do. So I drove to his crib.
Also, I did find the rest of the channel for Obscurest Vinyl.
I love that background song. That's Karen White, Secret Rendezvous.
Is it?
Yeah. He sampled it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. It won't stop.
Oh man, you're missing the best part. He just fucked on the guy's kid's bed.
Over the sheets. I knew that I was done when I started getting soft. I grabbed the kid's toe and I wiped my dick off. He's lying on the bed, still trying to recover. I'm bursting him out and my car burns rubber. So what the fuck you think? So what the fuck you need? Cause if you see one bag, then you see them all. So
What's
fuck you
the
think?
number one gangster fag song? I want to hear it.
It's probably
This is
that
it.
one. I
So-
mean,
That was what's number
it's-
2?
these are not super popular. It's
Yeah,
kind of an
so
underground thing.
They were really hard
What?
to find the
Not yet.
Well, Mike, you're on the cutting edge again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's going to be huge.
Oh yeah. Gangsta Veg's gonna take off.
Yeah, so I found these on a channel called Obscure Comedy Tracks, and they're nowhere else I could find them. And the most popular one is 1.6 thousand views. He Wants It, which is what we were just listening to.
Yeah.
Second would be 1.4. That's The Faggots.
Okay.
Okay, I found the song "Rubbin' and Tuggin' My Nips."
All
Is
right.
the name of the song.
Jesus.
Found it
by-
right here.
You found it?
Yep.
Excellent.
This is
After
how to
this
get in
ad.
shape fast.
You're making us watch an ad, Drew?
Yeah.
How popular
Sorry
is
about
this?
that.
Well, I think this guy just popped off after the couple AIs went out.
So are these all AI songs?
Wait,
Yes.
is this guy real?
Oh, is this an AI song?
I think so. I think these
Listen,
are all
it
AIs.
sounds like an old orchestra, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is he gay? Or
No,
is he
this-
a real person?
We're moved on past Gangsta Fag. This is the one Drew wanted.
So we're hetero again.
we're
This is
hetero
you're
again.
gonna hear a guy talking about rubbing and tugging his
Okay,
nips.
is that straight?
But it's
I don't know. It's might be masturbation. I
but
don't
it's
know.
set
Who else
to
is
like
in the room?
50s big
It's
band.
very complicated,
right?
Greg.
You
I think
guys
you need to
have-
open your mind.
You've crossed this thing over me, and I'm lost.
This is the Drew and Mike world you're in now.
Just try and sit back and enjoy it, as Bobby Knight said.
So what is it like 50s big band?
That's
Is
what
the-
it sounds like to
Okay.
me.
For I have sinned. I've been tugging these nips and I'm rubbing them again. See you in hell. I don't give a shit. I'm just rubbing and tugging my fucking nips. Oh God, if
He swore.
my fucking nips I'll be and see you in hell. I don't give a shit. I'm just rubbing and tugging my fucking nips. The doctor said you need to stop or you can kiss those nips goodbye. I said, hey doc,
That
you can
true?
eat a cock. Tell
know.
your wife I'm coming by.
Yeah, it's not
Pretty cool track.
Yeah.
Are you doing stuff with AI?
Yeah, I've been singing some songs on AI.
Really? Are
Yeah,
they-
like the Humpty Dance and.
Wait,
Actually,
how
the
does this
comments-
work? AI, you can sing
the
AI?
You can take my voice and put it in any song.
Really?
Yeah.
Can
Oh,
we
gotta
hear a
do
sample of that? I'd love to, because I saw people commenting on it, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, what are they doing now? So is Brandon
Yeah,
doing
Brandon
this?
is in charge of that.
Okay.
I think there's songs on the show, like at the end of the show, but I wouldn't know which shows it was on. Maybe you can find one or two. I'm trying to think. Like Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh, great
How
tune.
are they? Are they funny? Do they sound like you?
Yeah, they do.
Really?
They do. Yeah.
And it
Some of
just
them-
auto-tunes you?
Yeah, they auto-tune my voice. and
hilarious.
It's pretty bad, but people are really amused by it.
What app is it?
I don't know. I don't know who's doing it. I know Brandon has some guy doing it.
If you have
really
literally 10 seconds of someone's voice, you can AI.
Yeah.
them
I've
to
seen
say
it on
anything.
TikTok.
Either
yeah.
one of you guys could be singing Stairway to Heaven with Led Zeppelin in place of Robert Plant. I mean,
yes.
it's pretty amazing.
We should start a band.
And tour.
By the way, before we forget, because I know you guys are going to want to get home before too long for the draft and whatnot, so I don't want to keep you too long. But you got into a little dust up. I know you did the show with Jamie Samuelson forever.
yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day, which is a great show. And Drew and I know Jamie. And I got wind of a friend request you sent out.
Well, let me explain what happened.
So I want to know more about this. I don't mean to get into the dirt and in
No,
the
no, no, it's
weeds,
fine.
but
my
cause trouble. You know me.
my
I don't mind getting into it.
yeah, no. My Facebook page got ripped off in November. Someone just got a hold of it, and it was gone.
What?
Yeah. So I had to start all over. I had like 5, 6.
Does this happen a lot to people?
Yeah, it happened to E.
Did it?
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. They.
The fuck, man?
I know.
It's- Who are
It's
these
unbelievable,
assholes?
and they are zero fucking help. Either,
Yeah,
Facebook.
right. No,
when
they
you
don't
get into
care.
it, they don't give a shit.
I couldn't get anyone on the
Lose
phone.
everything. All your
Right. All my pictures and stuff that I'd posted over the
Oh,
years.
fuck.
Yeah,
So
brutal.
so what I did was I recreated my page, and then I sent out friend requests to people who were friends of mine before.
Right.
So, most of them, a lot of them thought it was a scam because you know how that happens.
Yep.
People
Yeah.
get their pages ripped off.
But generally speaking, these would be people, all of whom were your friends in 2009.
That I knew. I know
Right.
them.
And they all responded
Right.
positively to your friend request back in 2009.
Yes.
Or you to them or whatever.
Yeah, just, like someone would say, is this really you before I accept it? And I'd be like, yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
And 7 months later, I get one that blew me away. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa. And then I thought, oh, someone's Facebook got ripped off and they're lashing out. I thought this person who had sent it,
Do you want me to read it?
you can read it. It's from
Jamie's wife.
yeah, Christy, who went to my high school,
Oh, she did? I didn't know
She
that.
went to Troy High too, and I'd been,
Were you friendly with her?
I was at the wedding.
When he died, were you?
I hadn't been in touch with any of them.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
you
in
weren't
touch
even
with
in
any
town
of them.
then.
I wasn't even in town. The last time I saw Jamie was at the 10th anniversary or 20th anniversary 10 years ago in Berkeley. We're at 24 seconds.
24 seconds.
We hung out. Jamie and I chatted all night.
Oh, okay.
That's the last time I saw Jamie. or talked to them was that night because I was in Pittsburgh and then I was in Richmond, right? So I hadn't talked to any of them for a year. So I'm like, oh, I guess we're all good. I mean, we were partners. We argued. We fought, but it was never contentious.
But generally speaking, you were on the air together for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was a good show.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. I only left because I got a lot more money to go to XYT. I didn't leave because I didn't like Jamie.
Right.
So you sent out all these friend requests. Well, you get a response from Christy.
6 months later.
Christy McDonald.
6 months later.
6 months. Well, it's November till like 2 weeks ago.
So it says, wow, Greg, how surprised I was to see this friend request. You were such a backstabbing and petty asshole to Jamie for so many years. He was nothing but class about it. He felt sorry for you, and so do I. We're not friends, and we won't be. Best, Christy.
What time of night was this?
9:30. I thought the same thing.
Well, what are you guys alluding to? That someone might have been a little tipsy when they wrote
Couple glass of wine. I mean, I've done it.
But
yeah, me too.
Where you get a couple glasses of wine, you start talking to people you haven't talked to in forever.
I usually, get a little more flirty with chicks or something.
I'm nice. I'm like, hey, man, it's we should get together.
I don't get nasty either. I'm going to guess that. Well, first of all, my inclination is to give her the benefit of the doubt because she lost her husband, and the kids lost their father.
Which I hate. I hate that.
Terrible. So maybe on those days when you and Jamie weren't getting along, he brought it home. And a lot of times the spouse takes it harder than the person themselves. And maybe she remembers those things better than...
Not mine, because I would come home and bitch about Jamie, and my wife would go, what'd you do? You know
that doesn't surprise me.
I wasn't blaming you. I'm just saying.
Well,
that's
I was the program director, but I do remember... we always got to do it. He was a left coast lib. I was not. But the thing is we used to hang out. Jamie and I would go, hey, meet me at Birmingham. Let's check out this new movie. We'd go watch the movie. We would hang out until we got married and stuff. So, but Michelle had the same advice as you. Michelle said, this is him bitching about you after work some days. And her taking it personally.
That seems
probably
more than that, though. That doesn't it? Like, if someone comes home and bitches about you, like, whatever.
It was pretty nasty.
That's
so you were completely shocked.
Blown away. Because who do you think got Jamie all those raises? Who do you think?
Maybe the raises weren't as much as she thought they should be.
Well, she might be right, but I work for Clear Channel. Well, but I mean, it was like, there were times where they would come to us and say, you got to cut somebody. And I'd be like, it better not be Jamie. 2 or 3 times. And that happened. You know how radio is. They come looking for bodies every month. And it was either him or Rona or somebody. And I'd be like, we're not getting rid of anybody. And I would win those battles 9 times out of 10. And it was like, if he only knew. Like when you're the PD, you don't know.
Well,
people don't
he didn't know.
No.
And she didn't know. So therefore.
But anyway, I did give her the benefit of the doubt. I had in my head what I was going to write back. And I went, don't be an asshole. Don't.
Because
I'd have no clue what she's going through. I can't imagine the horror of losing your husband so young, particularly the guy who I think she thought the world of. I mean... my wife wouldn't think that highly of me.
Everybody liked Jamie. I mean, nobody didn't like Jamie.
No.
Well, I'll say this. I've known you for a while, and I knew Jamie for a few years. And I would ask Jamie about your guys' show, because it was a good show.
We had fun.
The morning show you guys did. I can't remember a single time that I've ever heard you or Jamie say a bad thing about either of each other.
We were different.
Never. Like, you would think, like, off air, it was like, hey, I'm asking too many questions about, what was Greg and Jamie's show like, blah, blah. If you really didn't, you'd go, you know what, to be honest with you, the guy was a fucking asshole.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't remember him ever doing that. And I don't remember you ever saying a negative thing. Now, I don't know Christy McDonald at all. I don't even think I've
She
met
seemed
her.
really sweet to me.
But that's all I've
I don't
heard
know her
from
that
people
well.
is that she's super sweet.
That was going to be part of my response, but I didn't send it.
Wait, what was going to be part of your response?
She went to my high school. I know these girls.
Okay.
Troy girls are a different breed. Trust me. They are.
In what way? Because Troy's got money.
They're self-important at times. Maybe not forthright and honest. That's all. That's it. I mean, I don't want.
It's really weird. The whole thing is very.
It's
weird.
bizarre.
Yeah.
I showed it to my wife, and she goes, "That's an interesting rewrite of history." Because my wife, does she forget I was there every day? I was there. I was in the room when I was
Nick
supposed
was?
to. No. I'm Christy.
Well, maybe she'll apologize. Maybe she
won't.
just.
I don't.
Probably not.
It can die for all I
Yeah.
care. I don't care.
Did you respond?
Well,
to
we
it,
just
or did
kicked.
you
We just
let it
kicked
go?
it alive. a
That's
little
true.
bit.
Oh yeah, this is going to add gasoline to that fire for sure.
My first-
she will 100% hear about this.
Yeah, 'cause you know what? You know why
Probably.
she'll hear about it? Because there's some
Because you're here.
asshole,
right? Because you're here.
Possibly.
Yeah,
No, but
sorry, Drew.
there's always some asshole who goes, "Oh,
You got
I've got to
trash.
tell her this. This is going to really piss her off, but I got to tell her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Why would you have to tell her? What would be the point of telling her that? It does no good.
But that would
Someone
be
will, though.
That would be my response as to what was the point of sending this? Like calling me petty and then doing something petty like that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What is this? I had such high respect for her and her husband that I was like, what makes someone do that? She had to be having a glass of wine and maybe getting a little melancholy, which I completely understand.
Yeah.
Completely. That's why I didn't respond.
Well, she's the one that lost the most. So
Right,
that's
right,
the way I look
and
at
her
it.
and that would suck. I mean, my heart breaks for that family. That's horrendous because I know no one revered Jamie more than his own family. They really had a high esteem for him because of the way he conducted himself and that kind of thing. But anyway, I don't know what that was about. I was like, I feel like I did more good than bad, but whatever.
Well, maybe we should talk about Jamie's alma mater, Northwestern, where I saw they built like a chain of people holding hands in a circle to protest.
Is this about Gaza or?
For Gaza.
Did you ever think you'd see our country siding with terrorists?
Never.
No way. No.
These young kids have no clue. And I'm loving these videos of people getting beaten in Columbus and UT at Texas. I mean, the cops are not dicking around in those two cities.
Yeah.
I don't really know what. The cops are only going to make them think they're more right. So you go, the police, the ones that killed George Floyd, I've grown up knowing these police are all racist.
Right.
Every single one of them. The minute they put on the uniform, they're a racist.
But at some point, you got to beat a student. You have to. You can't just let them do this all the time or it's never going to end.
Well,
at some point, the cops got to push back. And
Texas
how
is a
could they
good place to
chant,
start.
we love Hamas, we are Hamas,
Yeah.
we want another 10-7? I mean, people had signs, we want another 10-7, we want 1,000
We want
10-7s.
thousands, 10,000s.
What the fuck is that?
what are we doing?
Yeah.
What
I
have we
don't know.
raised? What the hell have we raised? Because this is on us.
Entitled little shits.
This is on us. They have no concept of history. They have no
But isn't it really this, that they support the brown people against the white people?
Probably.
Yeah.
Even the white people do that. The white women.
white liberals are
right.
the worst.
But like I was talking to my son about this the other night. One of them is with me. The other one's not so much, but he's not crazy. And we were talking about
do
it.
you not like that son as much? Because I wouldn't.
He actually is my favorite. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, but we were talking last night. We went to the draft and we were driving down just talking about it. And I said, here's the problem. Did everyone forget the videos of them dragging dead bodies that they'd raped through the cities?
And the hostages.
Yeah.
What happened? No one talks about the hostages.
What about the girl in her underwear in the back of a truck dead that they had raped?
That they
savagely?
paraded around?
Yes.
with
Blood all over
I
them?
know. It's blowing my mind. I'm like, but although I have seen protesters interviewed, and I don't know who did these interviews. I'm sure there are people that are horrible for doing this, but they actually asked people, what are you protesting about? And one girl goes, I don't really know.
Yeah.
She had no
What
idea.
river? What sea?
Yeah, what sea? That was my favorite. They didn't know Jordan and Mediterranean.
Right.
They didn't even know it. It's
There were
like,
5 or 6
You're out
others
here with a sign.
who honestly could not explain within a mile of why they would be. It was crazy.
The thing that pisses me off is, I've done deep dives on this, like why this all happened, the British Mandate and all this shit. And people don't understand this can never be solved because you took a piece of land and gave it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's never, ever going to end because...
What were the Brits thinking?
what were they ever thinking? But the problem is you...
I do think Israel overreacted. I mean, they did kill a lot of people. That wasn't good. But after October 7th, I kind of expected something like that. But every time, this is what I've had a couple people say to me is, oh, Drew, what's the matter with you? That's genocide. And I said,
no, it's not.
No, I don't think that's genocide because October 7th is why they did that. And they're like, oh, no,
Right.
you're really stupid. And you know how people try to hurt you. And so I said, okay, what you're describing then the Gulf War after 9/11, that is also genocide,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And I thought, I got him on this one. They said, yes, that is genocide, Drew, you dumbass.
Double
now
down.
Oh, that was genocide? Really?
But I had no idea.
But now they're doing Japan now. Now we're doing Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, World
that
War
was
II?
genocide too. Yeah.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's genocide too. Because
Well, then
we used
genocide's
them.
not that big a deal.
Right, yeah.
See, call me crazy. I thought genocide was one of the worst things humanity could possibly do.
Right.
No, it turns out it's really not.
We changed the definitions on everything nowadays. I think
It's leap year.
really,
Well, they're trying to rewrite it all.
Yeah.
Everything they're trying to rewrite it all. The fact that that we would even question whether we should have nuked Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yeah.
80 years later, we're going to talk about this. You know, maybe we didn't have to. Maybe we did do a show for the Russians, but you
I think it
kind of
was
started
100% a show, but
probably. He had to keep Stalin. You know, they wanted to keep Stalin scared, but. The fact is they were going to have to go door to door to end the war, and it would have cost millions and millions of lives.
None of these people
Better
can
theirs than
possibly-
ours.
How can they put themselves in the shoes of people in 1945? How the fuck can you do that? Are you kidding me?
Judging history through a current lens is the oldest bit
Yeah.
going. It's
But-
bullshit. Hindsight, right?
I don't know why anyone takes that seriously.
I don't.
Like, seriously.
Because-
If you're doing that, if you're judging, because there's things we're doing right now that these kids today are doing right now that give them 30 years.
Right.
And you'll look like a fucking monster according to 30 years from now standards.
Social media
No matter how
gives a voice
perfect
to,
you think you are.
social media gives a voice to people who don't fucking deserve a voice.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah.
Isn't it shocking how, honestly, I believe like 99% of people are just not meant to be heard. They're just
No, I
not.
agree. Most people should not have a voice.
Yeah.
Because they
Right.
just become noise.
Right.
And I don't mean to take away their voice or their First Amendment. It's like, no, the masses don't need to
Go
hear
yell
you.
it on the street.
Yeah.
And,
You know?
and enough of them can be wrong about the same thing to
Yes.
really fuck things up. too.
Right. Like
And that's what's going on.
But that's the squad. The fact that
Well-
that woman is in our House of Representatives scares me. Her
Ilhan
and her
Omar
friends.
and
AOC.
And AOC, who's got a great record.
I
She
know.
is. She's
Jesus.
quite beautiful.
Damn
I
it,
gotta
she's
say.
great.
She would
I hate
hate you for saying that.
Well, that's why I said
I
it.
can't believe she's marrying a white guy, though.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What?
Yes.
How dare she?
I know. It's just like the first dude or second dude, Doug.
Right.
You know?
Right. But
Kamala married Doug.
Kamala Harris married a white person? What? Can you believe she could be president?
Oh, my
Isn't that
God.
amazing? Isn't
It's
that
terrifying.
You think that would cost him a lot of votes?
I know.
I don't think it does.
But
No.
could you imagine if she ended up being president though and had to go meet with like a world leader and she'd be
I
up
think it'd be
there doing
hilarious.
that weird ass laugh that she does. It's the weirdest
Or
shit.
that what's that big line she repeats over and over? What was and what could have been,
Yeah.
or what?
The word salad.
The word
Yeah,
salad.
It's so I can't think of the phrase, but she says it over and over. She thinks it's really cool.
Profound. Yeah, she's being really fucking profound. She's
Yeah. What is she like the, not the paradigm, what was she always talking about? Where the circles cross over each other?
Got it.
the diagram.
yeah.
Di-
No,
yeah,
I got
they,
the,
not
the
a
Venn-
diagram.
Oh, the Venn diagram.
Venn
Venn
diagram.
diagrams.
Yeah, and by the way, it never came up during when she was picked as vice president that she fucked Willie Brown to
Right.
get to the
Oh,
top
yeah.
of the party. What? That's
Yeah.
not really. I mean, if
No.
Trump fucking people on the side matters.
And
I
then
mean,
Montel
anyone
Williams.
fucking anyone on the side matters.
Yeah.
Well,
she fucked Willie Brown to get up in San Francisco,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then Montel Williams
Yeah.
started banging her, too.
Well, my mother-in-law, I was talking about this with her today. She's a lib. And she goes, oh, Trump, his whole personal life's a mess. And I go, did you care about Kennedy's personal life?
Yeah.
Did you give a shit? Well, we didn't know. You knew.
Oh,
You
no, they knew. They knew.
Everyone fucking knew.
But wasn't it better that they just didn't tell us? Wasn't it
care.
easier
Yeah.
then?
And I don't care.
And wasn't it so much more fun to read about it years later?
It
in
was.
the book?
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
finding
Oh, yeah.
out LBJ's pulling his dick out all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Holding meetings in the bathroom with his cock hanging out. It was great.
Was he
loved it.
really?
Oh, yeah. He'd
I
take,
thought it was-
because he apparently
he'd
had
sit
a
on the
huge
shitter,
dick.
right? Yeah,
He'd
sit on the
take-
shitter.
Yeah, he'd have meetings on the
On the
shitter, which
shitter.
is a power move. I'm going to do it someday.
Yeah, George, get in here.
That's a great power move.
It's a huge. If you could take a shit and people are at your fucking listening to every word you
Taking
say,
notes and everything.
Having to come in
huge,
with their
man.
stenograph, right?
They should have a camera inside the toilet showing it like on a giant screen that
Monitor
they can't
behind
miss.
He'd probably be narrating it going, wait till you see this one.
Yeah.
Wait till you get a look.
yeah, he'd just pull his giant dick out. He wouldn't zip up, and he'd just be standing there, hands on hips.
But wasn't
talking to
that old
people.
guys, period?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
and then
Locker
they
room old guys.
Yeah, and then they zip it up and they have to squat down and pull it up.
yeah.
That's just old men.
But I
period.
love reading about that. I want to know that JFK was banging all these chicks in the pool.
Well,
you know,
now you
like,
know.
Yeah.
Remember when the media tried to protect him like 20 years later? Geraldo did that big story on it, and 2020's like, nope, not airing. Wow. And it was because somebody high up in ABC was really tight with Jackie O.
Yep.
And so they shit-canned that story. Like it was never going to get out.
Nope.
Yeah.
And Geraldo quit.
Well, wasn't that?
Did he quit over that?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
What was one of those anchors the other day talking about stuff? Not the other day, but a couple of years ago, and she's like, "I had the whole story, and no one would let me run it for ABC."
Oh, the ABC chick. Yeah, she was talking about Epstein.
Oh,
Yes.
Is it Amy Robach?
Yeah. From
Yeah.
Good Morning America. Yep.
Yeah, great career move, by the way, with TJ.
Yeah, right.
Great move.
Taking a deep dick.
Yeah, right. Who had the worst career move, him or her, or who was the guy who ended up going to NBC? Josh.
Oh, the former
He was a sports guy doing Good Morning America before Strahan.
Josh, I can't remember.
And then we found out what a peckerhead he was.
Wait,
to
did he
like
get
him
Me
a little, too.
Too'd? Maybe. What
He
happened?
might
to
have.
him?
No,
I don't think so,
He went to
but-
NBC and just disappeared. Josh.
Yeah, Josh something. I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about. There was two guys. That
Why did he leave?
Sam Champion,
Sam Champion? Yeah.
who went to the Weather Channel. He
Weather
left to
Channel.
go to NBC Sports and then nothing. Flamed out.
Last time I
Weird.
saw him, he was doing like the Kentucky Derby
Yeah.
for NBC.
Yeah,
And
pretty
it was-
bad.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And you see your boy Carson Daly still on TV?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He makes a lot of money.
Does he really?
Doing Good Morning America,
He
doing
is.
pop news or whatever.
Is he doing Good Morning America or NBC?
Today Show.
Oh, Today Show.
Today
Yeah,
Show.
he's on
you're
Today.
right.
Because I don't
He's been
watch
on the
it.
Today Show forever.
Has he? I just happened to see it the
Forever.
other day.
Yeah.
And you're right. He's probably making tens of millions.
His
of dollars.
career is pretty outstanding for somebody who is a zero.
Total.
I mean, he is not interesting
Total.
ever.
And he's
Well,
banged a lot
anyone
of hot chicks, right?
A few,
Didn't
yeah.
he
I
nail
don't-
Brittany back in there or somebody like that?
Wait, I think it was
something-
Tara
one of those.
Reid
Tara
in his
Reid.
team
Oh, yeah,
photo.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple of
How
others.
does-
There was somebody pretty hot in there. We should look at Who Dated Who, because that gives you a whole list
Yeah.
Who dated who?
of who banged who.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, put Carson Daly in Who Dated Who.
Carson Daly. How does that guy not get Me Too'd? He had to be up to some sort of shenanigans back in the MTV days, right?
I just think it was the fact that he was Carson Daly. I think people
Yeah.
just kind of fell at his feet.
Or if you don't mess with psycho chicks, you don't have to worry
Tara
about that.
Reid.
She's kind of crazy though, isn't she?
Yeah.
If you do her Who Dated Who, Tom Brady fucked her supposedly.
What?
Yes.
Ew. He banged Tara Reid?
You need to get up to date. In your
Tom
Who Dated Who,
Brady?
Mike.
Yeah, I don't know who dated who.
You know what? If
has
I
the
were
whole
him,
list.
he should have stopped after Bridget Moynihan. She's
Yeah.
one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
man.
Oh God, did you see what's his ex's name? The
Giselle?
model? Giselle.
Giselle.
See, Giselle got pulled over for some parking or some driving maneuver, and she bawled her eyes out to the
What?
cops.
And got
Yes.
away?
It's worth like $500 million. What is she?
the
I
ticket.
don't know if she got away. I didn't see the whole story, but she said, people are stalking me.
Oh my
She's
God.
fucking bawling her eyes out. I
And
think
she's unbuttoning her blouse.
Yeah, right?
I think she's a nightmare. A
Yeah,
total
probably.
fucking
Well, you know what's
nightmare.
funny? Like that's my standard question. Whenever a guy leaves a hot chick, I'm like, you don't know what kind of asshole she is.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, no,
Tiger
yeah.
Woods.
Brady is probably so much happier.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so's Tiger Woods. You know, like you don't know that what Elon's like.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he wasn't getting any.
Yeah.
So he had to go
Oh,
to
yeah.
Perkins and get himself some strange.
I have a
and
feeling Tiger might have been worse than her.
Yeah. I kind of like
Because
her.
why do you
She-
need to bang 40 chicks?
Well, maybe
400.
she wasn't giving it up. If she
Well, do you
was,
need 40 chicks?
she could have drained him once and it
I
would have
like-
been fine.
The only thing I liked about Elon is she was private. She was quiet.
Yeah.
She wasn't running around tabloids
Because
talking
she took
shit.
her money and went away.
Yeah. I know.
Money she didn't earn.
The Bill Burr bit about being a fucking babysitter worth $a quarter of $1
He's
billion.
right though. He's right. Wasn't
Yeah.
she? Whose babysitter was she? What golfer?
Oh, yeah.
Player?
Player, one of those guys, yeah.
Or was it the
One-
guy?
it was
Payne
somebody
Stewart?
pretty big.
Who can't
No,
be
no, I
friends
don't-
with
was it
Tiger
Payne-
now.
I don't think it was Payne Stewart. I think somebody who's still playing.
Which I always find that
Mickelson.
hilarious
Wait.
when it's like, I can't be friends with Tiger anymore. It's like, I'm going to tell both of you to your faces, Drew and Greg, I don't care who you fuck going forward. that won't hurt our friendship. Just for the record. If you cheat on a girlfriend, that won't ruin our friendship. I'll still be able to be friends
That
with
was
you.
a little dramatic, wasn't
A
it?
little bit,
I have
yeah.
Carson
Who said
Daly.
that?
Oh, I have it here too.
Whoever, the babysitter guy.
Oh, whatever.
It was like, oh,
Yeah,
Tiger,
yeah, I
Tiger,
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if one of my friends cheated on his girl, I can still be friends with him.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Carson Daly's Who Dated Who has Ashley Simpson,
Rumored.
Ooh.
Siri Pinter, who is his wife now, right?
Okay.
Is that who he's
Wait,
married to?
Ashley Simpson, who cried and ran off the
Jessica
SNL
Simpson,
stage?
yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica's sister.
Also, these aren't confirmed, but Jamie Presley and Christina Aguilera, and then verified Tara Reid and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, that's the one
that's
I was
a
thinking
great.
of.
What
Love
a
Hewitt's-
weak moment for her.
Yeah, really.
Oh my God.
But she got fat for a minute.
Who? Love Hewitt?
Oh, for a minute she was fat.
Have you seen her face lately?
Have you seen
No.
her?
She
titties
claims
lately?
like I haven't done anything. She looks so fucking
Does
different.
she? She's
oh,
so
Really?
hot.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Wait.
Oh no, she still looks great. But I mean, her eyebrows are up about 2 inches from where they used to be.
What? I need a picture of this. Wait, she's the one with the perfect titties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Look
Her
up
titties were
on your
amazing.
phone. Look up Jennifer Hewitt fat. You'll see. She got a little chunky for a minute.
Well, I'll have him pull it up.
Maybe that was her weak moment. Was she wasn't pulling any.
I can't believe she got fat. She was always
She's
really-
gorgeous.
I've never seen her fat.
Didn't you have a
Really?
big crush on her
Myself.
at one point, Drew?
Yeah, I like Jennifer
Wait,
Love
is
Hewitt.
that her?
That's not her.
No, that's what I got coming up.
Drew, is that her?
Yes, that's her. That's
No.
her now. Yes, it is.
No.
That's
Yes.
not the same person.
And she claims she's had no plastic surgery.
Oh,
Wow.
bullshit. Dude, honestly, I don't even see her in there. I can't even like squint and make out Jennifer Love Hewitt in there.
No, there's you know who else looks oddly the same, but actually not quite the same? Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Looking different.
Perfect. Yeah.
And Courtney Cox, it's like, wait, why do you look the same? You look like you did 30 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about it because Jennifer Aniston, anybody that listens to me over the years knows, like when we can
Perfect.
get like AI girl, it's like I'll take a Jennifer Aniston 02.
Look at her back in the day.
Yeah, look at her. That's Jennifer Love Hewitt, right
Oh
there.
yeah. That I recognize.
Her eyebrows are like 2 inches higher. That doesn't happen.
She was such a piece back
But
then.
Aniston, yeah, there's something creepy going on with Aniston's face all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
her
It
face
was-
is
24
But she
Aniston.
is like 55 now.
Yeah.
It's
She
a
got
jawline.
busted. She and Jason Bateman's wife and Sandra Bullock were leaving a cosmetic surgeon's office, and I think it was the Inquirer. Somebody got a picture of them, and I think Jennifer Aniston was in a wheelchair.
What?
Yeah, like she just had a major
something done, yeah.
done. Yeah.
Probably had her.
Well,
innards
Bullock's
tucked
had
back
work
in.
done too.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, she's squared her whole face off almost.
But Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston, she really looked like the same old Jennifer Aniston until just recently,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And now she looks like, wait, what?
I'm good with it though.
Yeah.
As long as she's
With Aniston?
yeah,
Yeah,
As long as
she's
she's
gorgeous.
keeping that tight.
Yeah, no,
I'm
she
good.
looks great.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
that's
great.
the thing. I mean, most of them look good, and most of them probably wouldn't even deny they had it done, although
Right.
they don't like to admit it. Hey, what about Kanye West in his porn studio?
Yeah, what's
Oh,
he
I heard
doing?
about that.
I saw
I
that
haven't even
yesterday.
heard about it.
He's starting a porn studio with Stormy Daniels' ex-husband, who produces porn movies.
I'm so done with Stormy Daniels. Anything about it. Like 45-year-old porn star
Yeah.
chick.
I
like,
thought you were going to
fuck
say I'm so
off.
done with Kanye.
Kanye
West.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was never.
I never
was
started.
not done with Kanye.
What happened?
West.
He was so religious
Dude, I used to
just
be
a
a
short
Kanye
time
fan.
ago.
Kanye's nuts.
I've
I've never
never
been a Kanye fan.
No,
I-
College Dropout or whatever that
College
was.
Dropout was a great album.
Decent, but
and I give him a lot of credit because his first couple albums were recorded with Jamie Foxx, and he had his mouth wired shut for him. It was really
oh
good
yeah,
shit.
yeah. I remember that. That was cool, but that was 20 years ago.
But why is
Just
Kanye
don't-
West allowed to love Hitler?
Yeah.
Basically, do anything. He assaults people left and right. Just got busted punching somebody in the
Didn't they
face
cancel
last
him,
week.
though?
No.
You can get the Yeezys
no.
for $4.
He lost the Adidas gig.
I thought he got it back.
No.
I
No,
thought
they
Adidas
sold the
came
shoes
back.
without him. But he lost the gig. But he's touring in Rolling Loud, and he's headlining. And I don't know who the promoter is, but it's like, wow, they're playing the biggest venues in the country. That's crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I know Live Nation and another promoter said, we won't touch him. I don't think Live Nation's putting it on. It's somebody
Really?
else. But it's like,
Because of the
wow.
Hitler stuff.
What's a guy got to do to get canceled around?
No, I know. He
Well, he's a
loves
black
Hitler.
dude, and
Yeah.
he,
He
and
says
he was,
it over and over.
Right.
He
right.
was married to Kardashian, so that.
And I was also going to
gotta
say,
go
he's got so much money, he basically funds himself. Like,
Right.
he'll buy out his own theaters and then sell the tickets
Yeah.
to his fans.
That's like Marge Schott back in the day, man.
He did that.
Marge would do that.
Remember Marge? Oh no, she was a
She
horror.
had Nazi paraphernalia.
Oh,
she
she
collected.
loved-
right.
She loved Hitler.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
kidding
yeah.
me? And then she'd
We
talk
used
about
to-
the players like they were her lawn boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. She was living in the past.
Who did we use? TC. We used to talk to TC, didn't TC?
Yeah,
do,
TC used to do Marge's
Marge
voice.
Shot.
Oh, I love
voice.
TC.
He was-
Whatever
yeah.
happened to him?
He's retired in Indianapolis. Mark
Is he?
Patrick. He was an anchor
Yeah.
on Channel 5 in Indy, I think it was.
And
he
he
worked
did
for Bob and
TC?
Tom for a long time.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
cancel for that now.
Oh, now he couldn't do a lot of the stuff he was doing
No,
then.
we
But,
did Spike Lee Weather. That would get us fired
Yeah.
back in the day.
Oh yeah. TC Sky Crib. He did TC and Sky Crib. He did a lot. There were a lot of
Yeah.
voices
God,
he
it was
did.
fun.
His
I'm trying to
Bobby
remember.
Knight was just
Bobby Knight.
perfect.
What,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good.
Which is so fitting because he was in Indy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Totally get it. Do
No,
that on-
he started with Bob and Tom and with doing sports on TV there. His son is in the big leagues. His son's a relief pitcher for Toronto like 2
Really?
years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his name because it's not Patrick.
It's Sporin. Isn't it Mark Sporin?
Storin?
Storin or Sporin? I thought it
Yeah,
was
that
Mark
sounds
Sporin.
right. I think you're right.
I didn't know we were allowed to say that on the air. I've always like held
Yeah,
that.
well, he's been off the air for about 20 years,
Yeah.
so I think we can say it.
you know,
Is that,
what
was
I
that
think
Drew
of?
and Mike or Drew and Zip?
Drew and
I was
Mike.
doing Mike, yeah, for I think about 7 or 8 years.
What
we had
year
him
did you
on.
go to Riff?
91.
Okay, I was still at CSX then. Chapin and McBean.
Yeah, they were on when
They
I
were
got
good
here.
for a couple years.
Yeah, I never knew what happened to them.
Well, JJ and the Cruise contract came up.
That's right.
And so they moved the DC, Chapin. He's still doing voice work.
Is
Like
he?
you hear him tonight on Fox 2.
Okay.
That's Chapin. He does all those. He's got a big farm in New Mexico or whatever. And then McBean went to DC to do
Okay.
mornings on the Classic Rocker, and then went to Sirius. I think he's retired now.
Okay.
Those guys.
I
are
remember
insane.
the TC and Sky Crib
Oh.
bit, and so
it's smooth.
We would it's smooth.
Sports Grunt, right?
We
It
had
was
a
Sports Grunt.
We had a cart.
Yeah,
the
sports
old
grunt. Fred, that was Fred.
Fred Human?
Yeah, no, Fred from Fred McLeod.
Fred McLeod, Sports
Yeah.
Grunt.
but we had an old cart deck. Remember the old cart deck
Yeah.
machines, and it had his helicopter sounds on it
On loop.
on loop, and you throw that in the cart deck. But I remember
And
it
he
was
never
like,
did the traffic.
how
It
do
was
we?
How's traffic? Always smooth.
when I first started there, Rob Schaefer was still there, and it was like, yeah, go get TC's music, and I go get it. And I'm like, and he's there, and Rob was like, call Mark, you know, and put him on. Drew's waiting, and I'm like this kid. I'm like,
Right.
fuck. I'm like, I don't have his phone number, and he's like, it's on the cart, and I pull the card out, and we had fucking Mark Patrick or whatever his phone number written on it. I'm dialing it.
Oh, hilarious.
Put the music, yeah.
Oh,
so
my
that
God.
number must
Yeah,
have
and
been
he
on
was
there for
doing
20
like
years.
he was
you
doing
know?
like 4 other shows
Oh, yeah.
around
Yeah,
us.
all
I mean,
over.
it was really busy.
It's a great bit. What
Oh,
a great
yeah.
bit that
He
was.
was really good. And
It's
Bob and
moved.
Tom, the Bob and Tom show is still going.
It's still on the air.
It
Yeah.
does really well.
It's
I
on
hear
in
it's
Muskegon.
horrible. Is it good?
I don't
You know what? I have to
I've
admit,
heard not
I've
good
watched
things.
it a few times because, like, Caliendo was on there, and I want to see
Yeah.
what Frank was talking about.
Yeah.
And then I've similar people like, well, if we're getting so and so, they probably did Bob and Tom. And I'll go on YouTube just to see what they were talking about. And sure enough, most of the time they have. That show is. Those people have worked together so long.
Yeah.
They know instinctively when somebody's going to react, talk, whatever. It's pretty smooth. It's not groundbreaking.
Right.
It's not.
I never loved it.
Yeah, it wasn't really my favorite show anyway, but it's about as professional a radio
Yeah.
show as there is.
Yeah,
When
but
I
they
was-
were never like real edgy though. I mean,
They
had some
were at
edgy
one
stuff.
time.
Oh yeah,
At
Dick
one
and
time they
Cider
were.
and stuff. The Dick
Yeah.
and Cider bit is great.
Yeah, and
Dixon
TC was
Cider.
on there too. And they wrote some great parody songs too.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they would get a lot of airplay around the country.
Yeah.
Were you aware of Dick Purton back in the day?
Yeah, I was. I knew
I
of
loved
him.
him for a long time, man.
I knew he was just dominant in Detroit.
Cheesy, funny, good time back in the day. I listened to him a lot in middle school and high school. Then I listened
Yeah.
to JJ and the Crew. Then you guys.
You worked with JJ, right?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
was-
intern with him?
I was their producer for a year
Yeah.
after Chapin and McBean left, and then I left to go to the Fan.
Was he fun to work for?
JJ's a great guy. George was intense though.
Yeah, George has been off the air for so long.
Yeah. He moved up north, bought a couple plow trucks. I heard.
Really?
Yep, and just opened his own business.
Who was the other guy? Wasn't there 3 guys?
Ed Kelly.
Ed Kelly.
Yeah, who's a voice guy.
Yeah.
Really good
He
voice
was,
guy.
yeah.
Wait,
he's
he's
really
on
good.
Mitch's show now.
Yeah, he is still on Mitch's show. He's been on Mitch's show for like 25 years.
Has he really?
Yeah, Mitch has been on the air a long time
does
on
shock
JR.
It
How does
shocks me.
anyone stay with
They are the
Mitch?
highest billing station in Detroit.
Yeah.
WJR.
Still. And
People
it's
should
like a
be-
2-share.
People should be arrested for buying it. They should. They charge a lot too.
It's a 2-share. They just back the truck up. It's institutional money. State Farm, all the insurance companies, Blue
Yeah.
Cross Blue
There's
Shield.
local buys on there too.
I know. It's crazy.
People should be arrested, and there should be indictments all over the place. If somebody ever looked into that and talked to the buyers on behalf of the
When I got-
insurers or the advertisers.
When I got into radio, no one could touch JR. In 88, no one could touch it.
Oh, when JP was
Yeah.
alive.
But even after he died, it was still, doing great. And now it's like, it's like a 1.9 or something.
their cume is under 100,000, I think. I've been looking at radio cumes in other markets, and
Yeah.
like I'm trying to think where I was looking. Atlanta does not have a station over 800,000. I don't believe
That's
Atlanta.
insane, and that's an under-radioed market. There's like only like 19 or 20 signals down there that matter.
They had stations over 2 million people. Probably 20 years ago. It's
crazy.
It is really.
It really
bizarre.
is. I mean, but that's why you're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you can do really well. I mean, if you hired a staff to sell it, you probably triple what you're making.
We got all we need.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Broadwell knows everybody in
Oh my
town.
God, you got Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike's
Yeah.
a buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've known Mike forever.
Mike knows everyone.
You know, I got him into radio.
No.
He was at Fox Sports,
Oh, that's right.
and we
He's some
dragged
great
his ass
stories
over
about
to
that.
DFN.
Yeah.
And he came in, and then got to know his wife. We're still good friends with Mike.
Yeah, he has some
don't think
great
he's still
stories
with
about
her.
Fox Sports. Yeah, he's got a different wife now.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
a little younger.
Yeah, just a little. Just a little. It's funny because my wife's friends with his ex-wife.
Quite attractive.
So yeah, my wife. But his first wife was hot.
she
was
was.
an
Yeah,
athlete.
she
too.
No, I'm sure she is because Kennedy's beautiful. And
Yeah. Oh, you know,
The new
Kennedy?
one's just younger and
I remember when
hotter, right?
Kennedy was 3, like because we used to hang out with the Broadwells, and
Mike can't go 5 minutes without snapping his ankle, though. So I don't know
know.
if he's cleared that.
It
up
hasn't
yet.
snapped in a few years.
Really?
Yeah.
he needs to get off the fucking skis.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit. I mean that boat of his. I almost killed about 10 of us on
Yeah.
that boat one
Oh.
day doing whip turns.
The
at 3 in
parties out
morning.
there, though.
Oh, is he has some good
Holy
water skiing
fuck.
bashes on?
Oh yeah, but then he almost ripped his entire leg off.
I forgot
water
you knew
skiing.
him. He always told me about you guys.
Yeah,
He'd be like,
he
what's
was at
going on with
Riff.
Drew? How those guys doing?
Yeah,
They're good.
He's
They're
great,
good.
and he knows everybody. When you're talking about those guys in the business, Toots was one of them.
Yeah.
Broadwell. Yeah.
He's been at it forever, though. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good
No, he's all we
awesome.
need, really.
What's up with Eli?
Eli's,
Did Eli have a meltdown and just quit everything?
No, he worked for the Pistons for a long time.
We saw him just the other night. He was great.
Oh, good.
yeah, he
good,
worked for the Pistons till like 2013 or something.
I
and
was
then-
his intern in '88.
Oh yeah, I think he's mentioned that.
I know Henson, man. And he'd always call and go. I'd call him because I had to wake him up, and he was always tired and bitchy. I'd call him and he'd go, "All right, turn it on." Click, and he'd just hang up in my ear because he recorded it down the line for us. He had an ISDN in his basement.
Oh, okay.
And he
Oh, wow.
just hated my call every morning. I had to do.
What
him
time
and-
do you call him?
I'd call him at like 6:30 every morning and say, "Let's record," because he had to do his record.
For CSX?
Yeah.
What was he recording? Like
He was
sports,
doing sports twice
break?
an hour, sports with Eli, and him and Lambier, just miserable fuckers in the morning because we had
Yeah.
Lambier on too.
Lambert's always miserable, isn't he?
Yeah, I liked him though. We got along. He was a good dude.
Yeah.
Lambier.
I met him like 3 times. I can't describe a colder person. I don't know if it was his mood at the moment or whatever. He just was
Comes
very.
from money. He's an arrogant dude, but I loved it. I loved everything about Bill Lambert. But Eli was a trip. So one day I'm listening to his show with Bob Page.
Oh, and Denny?
Yeah, and Denny.
Yeah.
And Bob's ripping him, saying, Eli quit. He's gone. He doesn't want to do this anymore. Something like that.
Yeah, I think he got sick of. There was a lot of tension on the podcast, which is pretty funny. Because,
Between Denny and him or Bob?
No, Denny and Eli got along. I think with Bob. I'm not sure exactly.
Shocker.
But the
Wait,
show
was it on
good.
your network?
It was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was a good show.
It was fun. I
There was
liked
3
it.
old sports guys who didn't give a fuck.
Right.
They would talk about anything and they would say anything. It was really fun. I enjoyed it.
God.
Denny's awesome to listen to too.
Denny says some of the
said-
funniest stuff.
Eli's
Yeah, he's
stories about former Tigers when he was working with Myth. I go, I used to hang out with Ron LaFleur, and he goes, "Yeah, anytime I see him, I kind of avoid him because he's always hitting me up for drug money." I'm like, really? Ronnie's looking for drug? He's a big pothead. I used to smoke pot with LaFleur and Gibby. You know?
Eli?
Oh, yeah.
Can't imagine Eli even smoking weed.
High on, total
Yeah,
high on.
Eli.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about those other guys, but I know Eli does
Loved
like
it.
to smoke pot.
Yeah.
Does he still?
Yes.
Back
He
in the
does.
day, he'd be like, I mean, in Eli's own way, though, he'd be like, I was smoking pot in the car with LaFleur on the east side of Detroit. Then I'd come back to the station to do my sportscast. Always cleared his throat.
You probably had a lot of sports guys that you had on over the years that under contract.
Oh, yeah.
Were there good ones that, or some guys you were like, fuck this guy, man?
You know, the best one I thought was Bill Lambier. Scott Mitchell was fucking weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he'd be
Weird.
good.
See
I can
that.
tell you the worst one I've ever had was Jerry Ball.
Jerry Ball.
Because
But he was funny.
he could be, but
Every
every
sentence
time
started
we
with,
called him on Monday
Let
morning.
me tell you. That's how every sentence started with him.
Our problem was he didn't know who we were and why he was on, or that he was supposed to be on every week. I mean, by the end of the conversation, we'll call you back next Monday. Remember, Fred set this up. And he'd be like, oh yeah, and then Monday morning you'd call at 7:30.
Wouldn't he be asleep?
Who is that?
Yeah.
Why are they calling me? What the fuck?
Yeah.
His wife would get him up, and then he'd clear his throat for 5 minutes. I mean, it was just a disaster.
You know who was a prick? Rick Carlisle.
Really?
Oh, what a dick.
Yeah, he didn't.
Didn't
when
want
they
to
ran
do
him out
it.
of here, he treated the Palace people, the employees.
Yeah.
They said he treated people like
Big time.
shit.
And he hated coming on the show, but he had a contract. One morning, Jamie and I were talking to him, and he wasn't really cooperating. And Jamie goes, Rick, we'll just let you go. We're kind of done. He was pissed. Jamie, the one time I saw Jamie
Really?
pissed, we couldn't get him to answer any questions. He was just being a smarmy prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but where did he go after here?
Indiana.
Did
No,
that
Dallas.
lasted
He went
a
to
long
Dallas.
time, didn't it?
He went to
Was it?
Dallas.
Yeah.
He was there quite a while, right?
He won a title. Wait.
Yeah, he did.
He went and he won the 2010 title there.
Wow. Hey, the draft is on, you guys.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming
but
on.
that's
This was
some,
awesome.
sure.
AI
And
Drew,
I-
if you want to go out on that.
No,
But wait, the Lions aren't drafted until like 11 for the first time ever. You don't have to be there right at the start anymore.
I know, it's great.
That's
isn't it?
great. It is. I was telling that to my kids. I'm like, normally I'd be done by 8:15.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Don't have a top 3 pick. But,
Exactly.
we'll go
That was
out.
great.
We'll go out with an AI Drew
Oh,
to
excellent.
play us out. But
Good to see you, man.
It's
Yeah, good to see you,
really
Greg.
good to see you.
What song did you find?
I don't know. Well,
I just had to go back through your episode log, fast forward to the end of the episode on my phone.
Ah,
and
nice
find some
work.
AI.
yeah.
Okay.
And
there
I
you
tracked
go.
it on your website.
I have no idea what this will be.
Well, we'll play that in 1 second. I did want to say I hope you guys are as impressed as I've been with the city of Detroit on
Yeah.
camera last night. It's unbelievable, and seeing
They've already
Hutch-
shut it down tonight.
Really,
You can't get in right now. They're pausing entry.
Wow, shit!
I know.
Seeing those guys and Eminem and just the whole. I mean, I couldn't believe those sweeping views of that crowd.
I mean, to
Incredible.
see a city go nuts over an NFL team like this is crazy.
We've been waiting
It's
for this our
nuts.
whole lives. The three of us, especially.
I know.
It's
I saw with the Bears
nuts.
in
Yeah.
'85.
Yeah.
I mean, that was building for a couple of years. It was everyone.
You
watched
and
the
I,
Bears game.
Yeah.
but we kind of saw what it could be in '91.
Sort
When the
of.
Silverdome had 80,000 nutty people smoking
Yeah.
inside of a building.
Yeah.
It was crazy then.
This feels more intense to me. I don't know why.
Were you here in '91
Yeah,
or
I
you
was.
just get
And
here
I
after?
just got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they were going to the Super Bowl. I just never believed that.
You knew the
No.
Redskins would kick their Redskins
kinda
would
thought
kick their
they would.
tits in. You knew they would. They always did.
By the way, Drew, I know you're always going to be a Bears fan on some level, and I hate rooting against people, but I hate Caleb Williams so much that I honestly.
That's a fail.
I'm not
I
a fan
swear
either.
to God, I've never wanted an athlete before his career starts to fail, but I sort of want his career to fail.
I didn't like any of the quarterbacks taken before McCarthy. I really think
I
McCarthy
think what a
might be the
great
best
spot
one.
for McCarthy. In
I
Minnesota.
didn't
Ugh.
understand, how did Caleb Williams get set so clearly above
year
all the
ago.
other ones? I didn't get it.
He
Why?
took a preseason top 5 team and lost 4 games last year.
Exactly.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? Now I know the defense sucked, but still.
But I watched a game where he threw 3 interceptions. 3
Yeah.
or 4, I thought.
Yeah.
I was like,
He was
wow.
not that great for half the year last year. The year before, he looked amazing.
He was anointed.
did,
He was
but
anointed. But
He's
Spencer
going to be a
Rattler
problem.
had one of those
He's
years
gonna-
too.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
yeah.
he sucked.
Sucked.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
We'll see.
That's the funny thing about the draft is to spend 2 months deciding who gets drafted, and you don't know that
Yeah.
they're going to be that fucking good.
Yep.
You just
The
don't.
Drew Lane Show podcast is fantastic. Obviously, anybody listening here knows it.
And the
Greg
YouTube
Michelle-
channel, too.
And the YouTube channel, of
Yep.
course. Greg and Michelle at LAV in Grand Rapids.
You can get the podcast too.
And the podcast, you can get that wherever podcasts are. Obviously, Drew's too.
It's not as fun as
so
this
much.
though, because we just can't swear.
I can't believe you two have never been on a mic together.
No, never.
Until today.
No, that's true.
That is
No.
fucking awesome. That you
making
guys
history.
are.
I tried.
Making
I tried to
history.
come be your boss at 105.
Gross.
where I
Oh,
would've-
did you?
Where I would have fucking left you alone.
Well, you know what? They needed somebody.
Well, I talked to Jason and I talked to Dave Shore, and they were such twats. I mean,
they didn't. They're not from here. They had no clue. None.
clueless, and I think Derry was knifing.
Oh yeah. Oh, completely.
Yeah. That guy's. I don't know when it changed for Matt because I loved him until about 2010, and then he just got nasty.
I was. But he got along at 97.1, didn't he, or did he?
I think they threw him out at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had no reason to leave when he left because no one knew 105.1 existed.
But he wanted to have his own show.
Why?
I think
He's an
'cause I
update.
think
He was an
thought-
update
Update guy. He was a great update guy.
He was a great update guy, a great play-by-play guy. When he got a show, I was like, don't know if this is gonna work out.
Yeah. Well,
I tried to get over there, and I was like, if they just fucking leave Drew alone, because I was talking to Broadwell. He was trying to help.
oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, they wanted all sports all the time. It's
Yeah.
like, but that's
Leave
not
it
what got
alone.
me. Yeah, it was weird. And-
that's not what got DFN where it was either. Sports,
No.
sports is the hook.
Well, we
know?
got blamed for the ratings before us. He was on before us. He's like, it's their fault because they don't talk sports all
Who
the
did?
time. Deary.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it was our fault.
He knew better. I taught him better than that. I hired him as a 19-year-old. He knew better. He knew that it wasn't supposed to be sports all the time.
Well, he took over our show, and that didn't.
With who was he with? Drew?
Drew Sharp. Yeah, and we were like third or fourth.
But you know what happened? Yeah, you guys were the only ratings that were there. Here's what happens in sports radio. The guys who are sports nerds think they know how to do sports radio, and instead of leaving it to radio guys. Like, I was a radio guy first, a sports guy second. I kept telling Broadwell they just need to leave Drew alone. Just leave him alone. Don't put any. Didn't they want to put somebody with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew Sharp.
Who I love. Drew's a good dude.
Yeah.
But you
No, it
don't
would
put
make
Drew
no
on
sense.
your show. What are they
No,
thinking?
there would be no chemistry whatsoever.
None at all.
No.
He, and that's because also Dave Shore had never been a PD before. Did you know that?
I didn't.
He came from LA, yeah, but he was the APD at a 0.5 AM station out there. And they wouldn't hire me because I was in Philly with Greater Media. And I left after I said, I just want to leave. This sucks. And they were mad at me.
Oh, you're in Philly too?
I was at 950 in Philly when
I didn't know
they
that.
launched.
Is that
yeah.
WIP?
No, I was at the other one.
Okay.
I was at the Greater Media station that's now the Fanatic.
Okay, what's the guy's name? Philly Sports Radio. He worked at LLZ for a while. Josh, somebody? Josh. He's at Casey now in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, Josh Innes.
Yes,
He's
that's
my buddy.
him.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, was
Crazy.
How did he do in Philadelphia? Or he got thrown out of there for something?
He had great ratings, but everything off the air cost him. Like he's
That-
fighting
yeah.
with people. He was fighting left and right. He was like, there's video of him nose to nose with like his competition at like the Super Bowl and stuff. It's like, come on, Josh, this ain't 75 anymore. Where that stuff was cool as hell.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't stay out of trouble.
Well, he's on a machine now. Casey
Yeah.
in St. Louis is about as powerful as
Yep.
it gets for in one. It's a pretty big market.
He really wants back in sports though.
Oh, does he? I bet he does.
When he was at
Just do a podcast.
Well, he was at
Everybody needs to do it
106.7
every
here. He was on 106.7 here doing mornings
yeah,
from
on
Nashville.
LZ.
Yeah.
yeah, and he was actually doing okay.
Are you still on LZ weekends?
Weekends, yeah.
Nice. How's it going?
Fine.
Cool.
Yeah. I just think, the whole radio thing is just so frustrating. But
Brutal.
I don't know.
It's brutal, man.
What do you guys record that? Or do they just air
Yeah,
segments of the podcast?
we send best of stuff from the week over there.
beeped out?
Yeah, they beep it. They
they?
beep it.
Yeah, that's a hell of a job, man.
It is a job.
Tony's a good dude, though. I like Tony.
Yeah, Tony's doing fine.
iHeart.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Travato.
I mean, there's so many stations in that. It's so weird now. With
Yeah.
one guy is in charge of 8 stations or something.
Yeah.
How
Him
long
and
does
Kurt-
it last? Do you think radio lasts for?
It'll always be there, but it's never going to be.
Making profit? I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, the ones that have already declared bankruptcy are circling back around for another one.
Well, it's interesting. I read a story about it was a consultant was talking about how radio needs to spend money marketing itself. And so anyway, they were talking about
When did they stop
certain
putting-
markets, and when they stopped spending money
Yeah.
marketing is basically with the internet. They said, "Oh, we don't need to market. We've got the internet."
Right.
So they stopped doing billboards, TV commercials, anything outside marketing. They stopped spending the money. Now that their revenue goes down every year, they're like, "I'm going to spend money on marketing. Fuck you."
Yeah.
No, and they're also not going to keep employees anymore. It's just
No.
every year they just come for more.
Yep.
Like I don't know what they're gonna do, but I saw Soros bought controlling interest in Odyssey, which will be interesting.
George Soros.
George Soros has 60%.
When
he
is
bought
that fucker gonna die?
60%.
When is he going to drop? He's like 120
But his kid's
going
gonna take it over. It
I
doesn't
know,
matter.
and his kid's supposedly worse.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, he
Wow.
just bought controlling interest in Odyssey, and my buddies are all right-wing talk show hosts, and they're like,
Oh, they're gone.
yeah.
oh
Bye-bye.
shit! But are they? They're the only ones who make any money.
I will see him on the Blaze.
But it's like Riff. Riff pulled the wagon for everyone in that building, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh.
all the
Yeah,
money.
still does.
Yeah, and so you can't fuck with Riff.
Nope.
And CSX probably does well because PPM
Yeah,
loves.
they do okay. They do
CSX.
fine.
But
They-
the bounce is a joke, and
Yeah.
and,
I think they probably do better profit-wise than anybody else, I would guess.
Tell me about 105.1 before we go. Tell me what went on there. I got to hear some of this. You don't have to do all of it, but so Derry was knifing you guys to get your show.
Yeah, and he did. He got our show because it was either do all sports or leave, and I said, I'll leave. I'm not going to do a show that sucks.
No, right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But
Against Mike Valeni, who does sports as well as anyone, why would I do that?
Right. You do what you do against him, but like you're still enough of a sports fan to be able to do it.
Yeah, no, and I like that.
Yeah.
But I could never talk about the NFL draft for 2 months.
No.
I'd lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And those days in the winter where there's just some stray hockey games and NBA games, like, why not talk about something else that's going on?
Right. Why not?
And they had, Programmer's Digest where they could actually tell you what hours you had ratings during the day.
And they go up and down?
Yeah, well, it would depend.
They tune out when you do this. Is that what they showed you?
No.
Oh.
They would ask. They go, "Hey, what were you doing at 3:00 on March 12th?" And this is like, you guys had the biggest day you've ever had. And it's like, let's see. I was just looking. Oh, that was when there was some llamas that escaped out of the zoo in Phoenix, and they were showing them trying to track them down on CNN. And we were watching it. We were calling the zoo, begging them to let more llamas out because it was so much fun watching them. Right. People try to stop a llama, and the chase was going on for like an hour and 45 minutes. And they said that was by far the biggest hour you ever had.
So why didn't they say do more of that?
I think they were really bummed out to find that out.
Yeah, they were hoping you were talking about the NBA draft.
But the guy you were dealing with, Dave Short, didn't know what he was doing.
No, he didn't. This was Jason Dixon days. He just didn't understand. He's like, that must be a mistake or something.
Jason grew up on the Power
young.
Pig.
Jason was young.
No, he's our age.
I don't know.
But still
I
pretty
couldn't
young
tell
to
you
be
what was
calling
going on. I don't know. I could tell you more off the air. I just don't.
No. Tell me on the air.
I couldn't. But
I would just think that people would leave someone when you've got an iconic voice in a market. It's not like you went, oh, Drew's down in Jacksonville now, and we're going to tell him how to do it. It's like, no. He's been in this market for 22 fucking years.
Right.
I think he knows what an audience is interested in.
We more or less did because I wouldn't do just all sports.
Right.
But after I was off the air at 7, it was all syndicated until 6:00 in the morning when Mike and Mike came on from ESPN.
Boring.
And then Matt Derry, and then Ryan Enrico, and then Ryan Enrico, and then Matt Derry. Ryan Enrico did better than Matt Derry.
Of course they did.
And then we were on after Matt Derry, and so
Matt was a cliche in the sense that he goes so and so on the ones and twos, and it's like what the what is the ones and twos? Anyway,
but Mike and Mike were lower rated than Wayne State Radio.
Terrible
in the morning.
Terrible.
Mike and Mike were like 22nd in Detroit.
Mike and Mike were the big myth.
It was a myth. It was totally a myth.
It was just because they were on the O&Os for ESPN. They were affiliates everywhere that had a 2 share.
They had no ratings.
Or a 0.2 share, I
think they had ratings in maybe New York.
Chicago. That was it. It was Chicago.
Okay.
Because Golick was from that area. He went to Notre Dame and stuff. And then Greenberg might have got some ratings in New York, but they would take all these shitty 0.3s, combine them and sell them. That's the success story of Mike and Mike.
I don't think they sold much here.
Terrible.
It was bad.
No, I'm talking about the network did that.
Oh yeah,
because
right.
it was
syndicated
terrible.
radio's never done well in this market.
No. Not really.
No.
They did okay on TV, I think. Didn't they do okay on ES now?
Yeah,
Maybe?
for cable, but 500,000 viewers on cable's huge.
Did they hate each other?
I don't know.
I mean, they split.
I think
at the height of their success.
I think Mike is an elitist. Greenberg is an elitist Northwestern grad from the East Coast who looked down on Golick.
Yeah.
I think Golick had enough of it.
Yeah, I do too.
But he's too nice a guy to be shitty about it.
Great fucking guy.
Yeah,
I ran into him at a Kenny Chesney concert in Fort Wayne, Indiana, backstage. Couldn't have been nicer.
Really?
Couldn't have been nicer.
Was it his brother Bob that was on Saved by the Bell? The college years?
Yeah, Bob Golick. He was.
What?
The Golick man.
I fucking loved Bob Golick. Yeah, he had he was what is the RN in the Saved by the Bell?
Wait, so he was an actor?
Yes,
yeah,
Bob
really?
was. Yeah.
Wow. And Golick's kid is in sports radio, right?
He's on ESPN.
Yeah,
they hired his kid.
What a joke!
I know. I'm like, my kid's not coming to work for you assholes.
It's terrible.
All right, let's end this.
All right, go watch the draft.
I want to ask him more about 105.1.
He's going to want to get out of here. I'll put the draft on upstairs. All right. Thank you guys so much. This was awesome.
It was
fun
fun
for a
Good
Friday.
To see you guys.
You too.
All right, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you hopefully on Monday.